Hmm.
So now I'ma give them they roses. The revelation won't be televised. You see the roar burning in my eyes. The word of Abba got me energized. Most of my people, they still hypnotized. I feel like Elijah, go and pick a side. 400 years we've been compromised. Telling the truth to get you out the lies. Like with the world, he won't let it slide. He won't let it slide, no. He won't let it slide no more. His people not done away with. No. New weavers coming back to him like a yo-yo. We Israel on the inside and out, so let your soul glow. Rise up, Israel, get your eyes up. You gotta be chosen for this walk, you just can't sign up. Oppressors better own up, cause we knowin' that they time's up. This isn't a phase, only my Abba can make my mind up. Take us time, yeah, take us time, yeah, take us time. Renew your mind, yeah, renew your mind, yeah, renew your mind.
Let me know, track 4.
What happened?
Oh, the song playing. To let you know the song playing. I'm gonna let you know when the song about to be in.
Yeah. Was on the road when I wrote this. I'm on the road to the kingdom. I'm praying the lane will stay open. 2 hands on the wheel. Hey. In the most high I be hoping. Yes, I rely on his wisdom. So I'm casting my burdens, I'm open. It's almost that time we gotta get through. I see how your time he tryna recruit. Step on the beast, his head I will bruise. Time to put cleats on all of my shoes. Time to go deep just like a masseuse. I got the keys, I read it in loot. Christ is inside when you in the truth. Kill my desire cause these are the fruits. He giving me drive, my body's a coupe. Yeah, we on the rise and we cannot lose. Yell and repent cause that's why I'm sent. We close to the end, what side would you choose? Dawn in my flesh like I got a rose in my hand. How can I fall off? He got my soul in his hands. I leave it behind, I'm so beyond the storm, riches in heaven, I'm on the top. It can be plot, I got a weapon, cause the Bible I'm reading is my device. I roll with a mob who live in heaven, you don't want it with squad, ain't nothing nice. His wisdom divine, it's so ironic that I took out 11 and now I rise.
Yeah. It's Jacob's time now. Yeah. Right. Get it. Yeah.
Alright, try for about to come on.
Get my camera on this.
See. All right, it's over. I'm trying to see something. I gotta see if I can share this shit. Let me see. Matter of fact, I can put it on YouTube right now.
Discord. And it's good. 99. This is going to show your screen and turn on your camera. I want to have that.
Not too many screens.
That's the nonsense going on in the background. 1 second.
That's crazy because it switched. It switched. It used to be like right to left, or right to left, or I'd be on the left and you'd be on the right. I guess it switched. I don't know, something different. Hold on. I got YouTube open. It could be my first time streaming in a while on YouTube. On Facebook. Hold on. I might have to go to like 3 platforms after this. YouTube, Facebook, and I'm trying to figure out like Instagram, but I don't think they got the like you go to their website anymore. So I gotta figure that out too. I mean, you could do it. I gotta see. Changing the quality, editing. That's crazy, man. Trying to see how you no.
See how it looks with the cubes. That's my mic.
You got a new mic, huh?
No, that's the same old mic.
Well, you probably never had it shown in the camera before.
Yeah. I have a fan here, and I don't want it too close to the fan because I don't. Oh, this is red. You have to back up. Some hard colors picking it up. It literally picked it up. Oh, that's better enough. There we go.
I gotta try to set this on Instagram. Can I pull up Streamlabs on the iPad, right? I should.
You should be able to. You post it? Did you post it?
Because I wonder. Wait, log in. I wonder if it's No. I wonder if it could show like multiple chats at the same time. I don't know if it could do that. You should do that on Streamlabs. You show everybody on Facebook, Twitch, and YouTube. No, I ain't streaming on Twitch, but on YouTube. Should be. Now I gotta do this all over. Now, I might even try to do it on. I should talk on my face, on my phone. Child Force eating good. Who's Trellix?
Who?
Trellix or Trolix?
Trolix?
Trallux.
I think that's Robin's husband, right? Yeah, that's Onyx. Yeah.
Oh, what's up, man? You say Child Force be eating good.
I be eating good.
Yeah, like food, like I guess could gain a little weight or something. I don't know. I guess.
Oh, really? Wait a minute. Can everyone? We're live.
Yeah, we live.
Oh, everyone can hear. That's not good.
Hey, was that Cardi B? Putting that Cardi B. Huh?
Let's shoot them dinner. Then let me do this first. Oh, you put your meal in there.
Let's see.
You want to use this? Okay.
I gotta try to share everything.
You can put it in order, but the reason why I put that is because it's the best picture. I want it to be the thumbnail, but you can't make it the thumbnail, right? I can make that one. Okay, so then make the food nothing. Yeah. If we put the girls there, the group of y'all with the girls. No, there's one. There's that.
Wait, what to do? Oh, links. Okay. Well, you know how long since I've done something like this, like trying to share stuff and put on stuff on different platforms. That stuff takes a while.
Let's see this.
This. Oh. All right. Well. Okay. All right, Trifle, you ready? I'm just trying to send links and stuff.
Read this. I open up.
Say it again.
It says Triforce eating good. Bro, what are you talking about? I am not eating broke. Every now and then I'll get a good meal. I eat healthy though. But, well, that's because I have to fast. So sometimes it's what's the word for this thing? When you're fasting against your own will.
Oh,
What's that called?
speaking of fast, I'm fasting right now. Today is the Day of Atonement. Started in the evening, so it was like 6:50 something for us. Like sunset.
Sunday evening is the Day of Atonement.
From Saturday, which is today, Saturday at 6 for well, I live at, it's like 6:50 something. It's when the sunset, and then to like 6:50 something tomorrow. So I ain't eating or drinking. It's a dry fast. It's like no water, no food. But I did it last year like that. I had to work because it was like I think it was like a Tuesday or Wednesday when last year happened, or last year Day of Atonement. So today was Day of Atonement, so we gotta be, which I must do 7 to 7 because it's like 6:50 something. It's like that's when the sunset, but 7 o'clock to 7 o'clock, I ain't gonna eat or drink anything. And last year when I done it, I felt way better.
Okay.
And I need to fast anyway because, man, I feel like everything I eat now is like messing with me. I just can't deal. I can't eat the basic stuff anymore. I feel like I gotta eat. If I eat like chicken, steak, I have to eat those. I can't eat nothing else. I can't get like a cheap meal. I can't do McDonald's. I can't do. I used to drink like coconut water. I drink coconut water every day, but it got to be a certain brand with coconut water with less. It's like now, it's like, I don't know. Now everything I drink or eat don't agree with my body. I get body aches. My spine be hurting. My spine be hurting. My neck be hurting. Joints be hurting.
That's that Monsanto. When I was living in America, I had the same body pains. Came down here to Jamaica. I start fasting and just eating whatever grows out of the ground, not from the supermarket. None of these pains. I'm like, yo, how did I get older and the pain go away? When I was younger, the pain was there. Then that's when I realized, yeah, Monsanto's on his grind. 1 second. Hey.
All right, there we go. All right. Okay, all right. My Commandment Podcast is back. A lot of stuff been happening. I think this probably like the best year for me personally since I guess since I was young. Like I have no problems. I feel like everything going well for me, like in every aspect of life. Job, kids, home, food, mental. I think this is one of the best years of my life. Not what I mean by that, I feel like everything is coming together more than ever. You know what I'm saying? And they said once you reach 31, 32, or between 30 and 35, that's when men life expectations or their goals or they admirations is kind of like set. You know what I'm saying? You're not really trying to figure out what you are. I mean, like what you're trying to do anything. It's like more like you're going into what you've been trying to do in your 20s. So I feel like this year, like no lie, way better. I'm not as stressed as I've ever been. I mean, less stressed as I've ever been. I feel like I notice when I like stay away from certain things or certain activities or certain people, stuff just like it's easier. It's like I like my peace. I'm more like come home. Like I want to go to work. Like I want to go to work. I never used to like going to work. Like I don't know. A lot of people don't know. Like some people get that feeling like I hate going to work. You know what I'm saying? But I feel like I wake up. Okay, I'm about to go to work. Make some money, support my kids, family, friends, whatever. Yes, I'm getting that now. Before that, I'm like, man, I don't feel like going to work. I'm not focused on that. You know, got so much things going on. But now it just feel like I'm smooth sailing, no stress, none of that. I don't know. It just I don't know. Anyway, my name is Reginald Jasper. Some people know me as Brother Yadai, my Hebrew brothers. Also on YouTube and Twitch, Versatile Reg. Oh, before I forget, happy Day of Atonement to all my Israelites. Day of I say again.
No, I say the Day of Atonement.
Yeah. So I want to let people know what Day of Atonement is. A lot of people don't know. It's one of the days where if like we in a group chat, so we say like if I ever, it's more like apologizing for anything that have like that people done since last year, Day of Atonement, to this year. So it's more like people say, well, if I ever offended anybody, the Israelite stock, so offended anybody or did anything wrong or messed up to people from last year to this year, I want to apologize and I want to repent. I want to make things better. Family, friends, whatever. This Day of Atonement is to like get yourself right and going down a greater and a better path. So I want to let everybody know, friends, family, that I appreciate y'all, love y'all. Even the one that maybe I beefed, like quote unquote beef with, even if it's a little or even if it's like something small, I apologize. You know, life goes on, things change, get better. So this is what Day of Atonement is for. But my co-host.
Hey, what's going on, guys? Well, most of y'all who don't know me, my name is Troy Force. That's my legal name. This has been a very, I don't want to call it an interesting year. It's a bit, this year is a changing year for me. I feel the shift of things being positive, especially for my sisters that I'm helping to try to do their thing. And my life has been more geared towards mentoring and supporting our sisters and even my brothers to a degree, but I focus a little bit more on my sisters because they need help more than us. We're the guys, so we can take that. I'm connecting more and more with God. I'm understanding more and more with God. A lot of things going on. This year alone, I have celebrated the Sabbath, or no, the correct terminology is observed the Sabbath more than any other year in my life. And I'm 46. That's crazy. That's wild. But gotta start sometime. So I don't mind starting now. But I'm glad to be back out. And I look forward to being back on a regular basis on a Saturday. It's gonna have to be in the evening. There's a lot of things going on during the day. And like I said, good to be back. We got some stuff to talk about. So welcome back, guys. Oh, I just want to put some out.
Say again?
I rewatched Kingdom of Heaven with Orlando. What's this guy's name? The guy from Lord of the Rings.
Elijah Wood.
No. The guy who played the elf. Is it Orlando Bloom?
Orlando Bloom. Yeah. The Pirates of the Caribbean dude. He played Pirates of the Caribbean. Yeah, Orlando Bloom.
Yes, sir. Yo, he's ridiculous. But that movie, something happened in that movie. I just realized for the first time. I've watched that movie like 3 or 4 times already. But we'll talk about it. We'll talk about that another time. We want to get into the show.
Mm-hmm. Kind of. I'm trying to think. The topic we talking about the topic about. You want to talk about that? Like when you want to talk about that topic where if Adam and Eve was like the first people, we could talk about it anytime. That's like the easiest thing. I think we went over it before.
We did. We briefed against it.
Yeah,
we did. But I want to bring up some context as to why I want to bring it up again, because someone told me. So I'm gonna give you the whole story.
Yeah, I don't know, but yeah, you told me we could do
Check
it, but I didn't know what the background story was. Yeah.
One second. The pictures you put up on Instagram just now, send me all of those. All right. So, can you hear me?
Yeah, I can hear you.
Okay. So, earlier in the summer,
Mm-hmm.
my wife and I and our friends, we went to the river, and when we were going to the river, there's two young guys that was coming in there. I feel dated because the two young guys, their perception of family, women, the concept of having a wife versus a girlfriend. We are in the generation of vipers, most certainly. Whether it's manifest destiny in the Bible or prophecy, doesn't matter at this point. Things that's being said in the Bible is coming true. It's just crazy. So one of the things was the guys were getting upset about why women behave the way they behave.
Mm-hmm.
My argument was to them was, well, women are the way they are because men. And he says, how you figure? Women are wicked. And I said, yes, women are wicked, but men are demons. And he's like, oh, you just trying to pick up for girls and blah, blah, blah. He didn't know that I was married to Empress now in the car. So I'm like, no, I'm not simping for anybody or whatever. I said, I can objectively break down why men are demons. So I said, we can go all the way back to the quote unquote first perceived man. And the argument started was, what do you mean, Adam and Eve? And I was like, yeah. And it was like, they were the first perceived. And I said, actually, we don't know that. And it was like, yes, in the Bible, it says Adam and Eve was the first man and woman in the world. I said, nowhere in the Bible, in any Bible on earth, does man who rewrote the Bible or God is quoting saying Adam is the first man.
Hold on.
Unless I'm mistaken, because I'm like, I was like, then they went on their Bible in the on the phone, and I said, go to Genesis. And they were like, she was like, no, because in church I was taught. I said, you have to be careful what you're taught in church, because people's interpretation can be psychologically, or not psychologically, what's the word for this thing? Subconsciously projected onto me. So I said, I'm telling you, can you remember the verse where it says, Adam, you are the first man? And I told them, I'm going to go check with Brother Odai to find out where in the Bible does it says this, because the only thing I do remember is Genesis, when Yah created the world. Yah said, let there be light, blah, blah, blah. And then Yah started doing 7 days. And in the 7 days, Yah was going through all the things Yah was doing. And in one of the things that he was doing, he said, I made man, and told them, be fruitful and multiply.
Hold on. Let me say this, right? Now, here's what I'm saying. Now, if you go in the New Testament, it says Adam the first man and Eve the first woman. But I'm gonna tell you why people take that out of context, right? So
Clearly.
So if we go to Genesis 1, Genesis 1, they said Adam was the person or the man to name everything in the kingdom. Now, what a lot of people don't understand is when it says the first man or the first woman, it's talking about the Most High taking and giving them the scriptures or giving them the knowledge. Not saying like, oh, he's the very first person and she's the very first man. That's two different things.
See, now let me jump into that, right? Mm-hmm. So I didn't say it like that, but I said it relatively close to that. I said, if you want to go and say that Adam and Eve was the first man and woman in the Garden of Eden, I'll go as far as to say that.
I wouldn't say that either. Not that either.
Wow. So there's probably people before them.
So imagine this. So you have, I mean to cut you off, but you got remember Cain. Remember Cain killed Abel. Cain went east of the garden, not east out of the garden, east of the garden, and found a wife. So if Adam and Eve was the only people, I can show you that too. We're gonna show you all the scriptures.
Yeah. No, that part we know. If they had children, how did Cain go out and create his own tribe?
Right.
If they were the first.
Right.
Clearly they weren't. So I just said, I use a simpler thing. I said, if you look in Genesis is, I said, listen, let's just look at this chronologically. Genesis is the beginning. So there's nothing before Genesis. Adam and Eve was not spoken in the first 1 through 21, or 26, 27 actually. Adam and Eve was never spoken of. God spoke of the creation of all things. And they were not mentioned in it. What God did say was, he said, I created man. And blah, 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 and told them, spread throughout the world, be fruitful and multiply. I said, this right here contextually states that Adam and Eve was not necessarily the first. Now, the reason why I say not necessarily,
we can show that too. I can show you that too.
We don't know if when God made man, if Adam was made during that time when he made man. Adam could have been one of many men he made at one time.
Right, that's what it was. Let's get scripture. I want a scripture. Wait, let me see. Let me get scripture. Let me know. I gotta share it differently to you. Let me see. Because it's easy. We went over this. I think we went over it one time, but this is easy right here. Let me know because you can see it.
I can see it. Well, I saw it on YouTube for a second, then it went away.
All right, can you see that?
I'll give it a second. Let it. Oh, watch stream.
Yeah.
Okay. Watching it now. Yeah, I can see.
All right. So, because it's very easy, right? Genesis 1:26, right here, right? Now, I won't go into deep detail that we already know. We went over this like a couple times, but I'm gonna show you about it, right? It says Genesis 1:26, and God said, "Let us make man in our image, and after our likeness, and let us have dominion over the fish, over the sea, over the fowl of the air, over the cattle, and over all the world, over every creeping thing that creepeth upon the earth." Right? Verse 27 is the important thing, right? So God created man in his own image. In the image of God created he, male and female created he them, right? Now, as you can see, verse 28, like we just said this, and God blessed them, and God said unto them, be fruitful and multiply and replenish the earth and subdue it and have dominion over the fish of the sea and over the fowl of the air and over every living thing that move upon the earth.
Now, let me pause that for a second. See, if these words are not changed, right? See, I've learned to pick up on things. Verse 28 is a very dangerous verse because there is a very dangerous word in that sentence. That just goes to show you that we're missing an entire contextual aspect about the world. And this is so. Let's make it, for the sake of this conversation, let us say, hypothetically, every single word that's about to be read is 100% true. Watch this. You listening, honey? And God blessed them. So this is after he created man and woman. And God said unto them, man and woman, be fruitful and multiply. Here's the dangerous word. And replenish the earth. This means there was a set of mankind before them. To replenish means there had to have been at first.
Why this, right? Why this? I want to show you this too. I'll wait for that. I actually somebody brought this up. I watched a live. Somebody brought this up again, but I forgot about it. Now listen to this, right? Read this right here.
Therefore shall a man leave his father and his mother, and shall cleave unto his wife, and they shall be one flesh.
Now watch this. Why would you say this, right? Why would you say this if, because now look at the name, Adam, right?
Yeah.
Why would you say this if Adam didn't have a mother or father? Why would you say this? Therefore shall a man leave his father and his mother and shall cleave unto his wife, they shall be one flesh. Why would he say this if there's nobody, if Adam didn't have a father or a mother? Because you got, in order to bring forth children or whatever, you got to have a man and a woman. So why would he say this why would Adam say this if he didn't have a mother or father? A lot of people don't understand this.
Well, see, the thing with Adam and Eve, I think Adam and Eve is a special case, like how you said, amongst the creation of mankind. There are other, what's the word for this? In other storylines and other understandings, I'll leave it at that. For those who talk about Enki and the Anunnaki, Marduk and Enel and the rest of these dudes and all that other stuff, right? And that's not me belittling it, because there are so many. I believe a lot of the stories that are being told have simply been, there's one main true story, and mankind, through its different groups, have taken that story and made their own version of it. Thus, the original truth is still hidden within their version of the story, but it is not 100% true. I believe when God created the world and he created mankind, Adam was a special type of man that was separated from the other men. And so, while other men had women, when God made women, Adam did not have one. God wanted Adam to be by himself. So in the what's the word of in the Anunnaki understanding, Adam was I forgot the actual name that they call him in their lore. That's the word, lore. Thank you. I forgot what they call him in their lore. But he was a genetically modified human, which was superior to the other humans in the world. Whether you take that version or the one in the Bible, there's a common truth that this person, Adam, Adamu, whatever you want to call him, that's why I said sometimes these names are not necessarily important. As long as you have the understanding of who they mean is what's really more important. So this particular person in the Garden of Eden, special to God. So if you believe in the more scientific lore of aliens came to these worlds calling themselves God and they made Adamu in the Garden of Eden or whatever his name was, or you believe in the spiritual version of, Yah creating Adam specially, and he's like, you're my blah, blah, blah. I want you to run the garden. You have all these powers, blah, blah, blah. Either way, that Adam was special amongst all the other humans who are replenishing the earth and whatever the case may be. And that's why it's like, I find that like, I'm looking into different religions that's why I watched the Kingdom of Heaven. There was a ninth commandment show you out on, and you said that when God was telling his special people, go with these particular people because they are closer to your way of life, Christianity, than anyone else, which is, if I'm correct me if I'm wrong, Muslims, correct?
Well, no. So, if you go into example, you go to the Muslim, the Quran. The Quran says, the chosen people is the Israelites. Now, what I mean, like, I think we were talking about that. What I mean about that was a lot of Muslim traditions come from Abraham. Abraham is our forefather. We got the Israelites and we got the Ishmaelites. Ishmaelites is Isaac brother. So, what I mean by that was if you look at a tradition that's more close to us is Muslim. They're more close to us than Muslim because they keep their hair covered. They quote unquote they were supposed to be following the Bible or whatever, but they don't eat pork, but they eat everything else. It was just if you want to compare Israelites to like the religion, quote unquote religion that's closer, you will say Muslim. But a lot of stuff in that religion is like it's thrown off. But anyway, if you look at, so we studied like the Sumerian, what you talking about, the Sumerian text when you talking about Anunnaki.
Yes.
So what I want you to understand was when you look at the Sumerian text and you try to take the Bible together, it's different. It's way different. So example, they got what's the Sumerian god, the elephant. I'm trying to think of the elephant.
Well, hold on. When it comes to Sumerian text, because I read a lot of Billy Carson. Billy Carson is like if I could give him if he had a religion, well, I wouldn't really say if he had a way of life, he's actually Christian, but he's a scientific Christian, and he studies the Sumerian texts and all that other stuff and the Anunnakis, and he's like a lot of these dudes is false gods claiming to be Yah. Right? He's like these guys are liars. And a lot of the things that we've been told, like, dudes is just straight lying. They played a role and they did a lot of things in the earth, but they are trying to claim that they themselves is God, like the creator of the universe, like the creator of creation. Right. And he's like, no, that's God. These guys are false gods claiming to be God of creation. So he's not, and I kind of agree with him. There's a lot of dudes running around. By 2050, well, when they start putting out androids with AI biotissues and cloning shit and blah, 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 some dude, Stephen Hawkins II, is going to say he's God. So I'm like, then we just do that. Like human beings are like we just do stupid shit like that.
If you look, I'm going to cut you off. If you look at the story about in Babylon, I'm trying to think of Babylon. It was a god who was calling him. Well, it's like he was a Babylonian god was calling himself the Morning Star. Now, Morning Star means people think Morning Star means the devil. No, the Morning Star means like he tried to put himself on a level of the Most High. I think it's Isaiah 14 and 14. I think 14 in matter of fact, let's look it up right quick. I'm gonna show you. Is it Isaiah 14? Isaiah 14, I think. It's Isaiah 14. And he called himself a Morning Star. And a lot of people were talking about, oh, this is talking about the devil.
He wild for that.
What? I think
he's wild for that.
Hold on, is this now? Watch this, right? I think here's the scripture right here, but I'm trying to find who's the dude name. It says Babylon, right? I'm trying to find a dude name. He's the king of Babylon at the time, and he considered himself. He's talking about he's the Morning Star, like putting himself as the same level as Christ or the same level as the Most High, but he got destroyed. He was playing with the Most High. What's his name? It's a scripture right here, but it's a king of. Cause look, you can see what it say Israel taunt right here. I don't know if you can see it. Can you see that?
Israel taunt. Yeah, Israel taunt.
Yeah, Israel taunt. I'm trying to think of his name though. It's a king. It's an Isaiah, but it's basically saying. Matter of fact, I'm about to get for you right now.
I got you. I'm gonna Google it.
His name is Nebuchadnezzar.
Nebuchadnezzar.
Yeah. Hold on, I'm about to get 14 and 12. King of Babylon. Yeah, I'm trying to think. Nebuchadnezzar. Yeah, that's his name. Nebuchadnezzar. Yeah. Here you go right here. This is what he's talking about right here, though. Right.
Hold on, I want to make sure it's Nebuchadnezzar.
Yeah, it's Nebuchadnezzar. I got it. I got it in my notes right here.
Okay. It's kind of funny in the movie The Matrix. They named the ship. These guys are going ham.
Yeah, Nebuchadnezzar. Yep, Nebuchadnezzar. That's what it is. But you can see, you can see how a lot of people try to put themselves as the Most High. You can see right on verse 12. It say, "How art thou fallen from heaven, O Lucifer, son of the morning? How art thou cut down to the ground, which have weakened the nation?" And I think if you just look at this crazy stuff, like people always put themselves as they want to be over everybody. They want to be like, you look at every billionaire or every millionaire, they always talking about like you talk about Bill Gates. Bill Gates always want to be like, oh, I want to buy all this land. I want to create this food so we can live longer. Like they always, and I feel like there's only one particular group in the world that always wanted the power to be the Most High, and it never works. Look at even these movies. Look at these movies. Every time somebody want to be over somebody, or a big group, or a powerful group, and you want to be what people say, play God. It never works. It never go into how they picture it. Some people will say, if I can't control the world, or if I can't have it, no one can have it, and they try to destroy the whole world. Right. So it just I feel like people want to be, I ain't gonna say righteous, but I think people just want to be controlling everything. Then with a lot of power, people with a lot of power, they don't sleep well. They don't sleep well. They don't feel well. There's something always going wrong with them. Look at a person. You look at a person who own a business. Them people don't sleep well. Them people are not happy because they constantly got to work over the clock. They constantly got to work. They're away from their family. It's always like somebody trying to control something is never a happy thing. One man, like one man is trying to take over millions of billions of minds. That's the hardest thing to do. That's never a good life. It's not a good life.
Why would anyone want to do that though? Like, what is your malfunction?
How matter of fact, if like I got two kids, it's hard trying to, I ain't gonna say trying to take care of them. It's hard to try to give both of them attention because they wanted attention a different way. So imagine one man trying to control billions of minds, like Bill Gates. Bill Gates want to control everybody. He want to be the face of everybody. I don't get why a man want to do that. That's too much to go
You have
over.
to have a level of arrogance to care enough that you feel like you think everything right can only be determined by you. That's a massive level of arrogance.
Like look at Gannon. Like we talking about Link. Look at the Legend of Zelda. Look at Gannon.
Yeah.
You think Gannon is a happy person?
No.
Gannon always throughout the history. He's always trying to sneak his way through.
Even if he wins and rules, he'll still be unhappy.
Right. The new Legend of Zelda. Right. He's like I don't know if I read it or I think he said it. Basically, he when he controlled in that realm, he was trying to control everything.
Mm-hmm.
If he controlled fully everything and everything that was good is destroyed, what's the fun in that? What is the fun in that? You control everything. There's nothing.
There's a line about it where it says, what it is to be a king when you destroy when there's nothing to rule.
Right.
Let me see if I can Google that line, but you understand where I'm coming from.
Yeah.
Quote on king that rules nothing.
Just like so I was watching on this podcast. I think it was what's the dude name? Used to play for the Wizards. He's a basketball player. Something. I just saw the podcast. What's his name? He used to be a basketball player. He used to play for the Wizards. But anyway, he was like, think about this. Let's say a new basketball player coming to the league, and that basketball player start winning so many championships and all that, right? And the audience and people start getting like complacent, and they're like, well, they want to see the dude who always win lose because it gets boring after a while. If a dude win everything, it take the fun out of everything. So nothing like if you have like a challenge, people like the underdogs. People always say I like the underdogs, right? If take example, Jordan win let's say Jordan win 8 titles, a lot of people gonna start getting tired of him winning so much.
Yeah, they don't want him to win anymore.
They don't want him anymore, so they will try to put a cap of his greatness. But if you see somebody who come from the bottom and work their way to the top, it's always a better story. And then if you notice, like even with basketball terms, like every 10 to 12 years, there's a new basketball player being the face of the league. You can't, you just can't have something so stagnant for so long, and people get bored. It's no, I ain't gonna say no fun, but it's no.
How about to the NBA, because they won't get off Jordan. Like they're never gonna make Jordan like, okay, Jordan. Like I hate the fact that the NBA just keeps like, oh, Jordan's the greatest of all time. Like, first of all, that's not true. 2, that's not even scientifically true. 3, that's not even statistically true. 4, that isn't even emotionally true. Michael Jordan is one of the greatest athletes in terms of like how he presents himself.
Mm-hmm.
But in terms of like as a player, skill wise, no. Michael Jordan's handles is not better than AI in his own era. Michael Jordan can't shoot better than Steph. Michael Jordan is the best or one of the top 3 mid-range shooters of all time. And that's even questionable and contestable. Michael Jordan isn't dominant in the paint like a center. He's probably the best in his position, a shooting guard. Mm-hmm. But then guess what? Kobe Bryant's stats states otherwise. And Kobe Bryant has washed up Jordan and Pippen equally. But then keep in mind, Kobe was younger, Jordan and Pippen were older. So come on. But you know, as a shooting guard, and for what he has done for his team as a shooting guard, with the help of the main help of Scottie Pippen and then the rest of his team, he's up there as a GOAT argument. Right. And I don't want to change this into basketball, but it just goes to it's to make the point about like you're saying, like people trying to be godlike or like, and people want to see them lose. Like people keep saying, but Michael Jordan is 6 for 6 in the finals and he did 2 3-peats. That's impressive. He has 6 rings, but Bill Russell has 11 rings and he has an 8-peat. Let me repeat that again. He has an 8-peat. He won 8 championships straight before losing and then winning the remaining 3. Yeah. Now, that's ridiculous. And this is why I'm saying, like, Jordan is up there, but evolution dictates that there will be someone better than Jordan. There will be someone better than Kobe. There will be someone better than LeBron. There will eventually be someone better than Steph. Dudes are making a 4-point line. 20 years from now, some kid called Magic Johnson the Fourth is going to come and he's going to be pulling up from half court, and it's normal. And he's going to be shooting 40% from half court. Changes the entire game. It's literally going to make LeBron James, Kobe Bryant, Michael Jordan, Magic Johnson, Larry Bird, Hakeem Olajuwon, all those guys back in the days, Kareem Abdul-Jabbar, Bill Russell, Will Chamberlain, they're all going to be obsolete. Mm-hmm. Like some guys, because they're shooting, because a 4-point line is introduced, LeBron James, 40,000 points will probably only last 20-something years. Because they introduced it an extra point. Right. See what I'm saying? So it's going to be... So these new guys are going to be coming and they're going to be doing James Harden step back threes and then turning around and walking up the court like it's nothing. That's going to be normal. Michael Jordan could not do that in his era. In his era, he did what he did, which made him stand at the top in his era. That's where there's the greatest of all time in your era. So during Will Chamberlain's era, he was the greatest. Bill Russell, he was the greatest. Magic Johnson and Larry Bird, that's an argument between which one of those two was the best of their era. That was the 80s. So someone can argue that. And then people can even really argue it because they could say Zeke or Isaiah Thomas is in there between those three guys. Like Larry Bird said to Michael Jordan, you got 6 championships. That's great, but you never beat me. I swept you out of the playoffs. That's crazy for Bird to say that.
Yeah, and Isaiah Thomas was telling Jordan, you couldn't get through me.
Exactly, like, bro, it took you 2 times. It took you 3 chances to get. In fact, it didn't take him 3 chances. It took him 5. He lost twice, and he said you needed Scotty to beat me, and we were on the way out, and we were injured. So, and which is fine. The torch was being passed. That's called evolution. So Michael took over from those guys, and in the 90s, with no one can argue, Michael Jordan was the GOAT of the 90s. That is indisputable. But to say the greatest of all time, that's not even possible. Because it's like, bro, there's players better than Michael Jordan now. Michael Jordan was jumping from the free throw line and doing a dunk. Zach LaVine windmill from the free throw line. Bro, he windmill. Michael Jordan barely got his dunk in from the free throw line. Dudes is windmilling from the free throw line. This is ridiculous. Like, stop. And then now you have Steph Curry. So like, Michael Jordan's the greatest of his era. After Michael, the torch was passed to Kobe. After Kobe, the torch was passed to LeBron. After LeBron, well, I don't know if the torch will be passed to Steph.
Nah, because he's in the same time frame as
Yeah, they both came in as LeBron. Yeah, they both came in together. So yeah, but
right now, to be honest with you, right now, there would never be anybody. There wouldn't be one person anymore. If you take you got Giannis, you got
No. Here's the reason why I think LeBron's reign will last longer than everyone, because of literally what you're saying. Because everyone has
that it factor about like, there's more than one person.
Everyone has the it factor. However, what separates LeBron James from everyone having the it factor is that he has the it factor 40.
Yeah.
This is what's like LeBron James plays at the same high level as Giannis, but he's 39 and Giannis hasn't even touched 30 yet.
Right.
So they're like, wait. How is this old man still playing at our level?
Right.
And he's like, and Michael Jordan had that too. Michael Jordan was dropping 40s and 50s 40. See what I'm saying? But the difference is Michael didn't have a team that could get him into the playoff to do anything significant where LeBron James had. And LeBron James is not over. I think LeBron James is going to retire like Vince Carter, 41-42. I think he's going out on some Robert Parrish.
He might last longer than that. It depends. It depends on
He wants to play with his son, so he's not going to retire until he plays with his son. Or he may pull a Michael Jordan, retire, keep his body in shape for a while, take a year or 2 off to get his strength back 100%. His son gets into the NBA, and then unretire, come back, play a year or 2 with his son, and then retire again.
Well, here's why I say that, because you got to think about what the league is now. The league is 25 feet and back. You're not really in the paint anymore. You're not really taking like body bruises like that or body damage. You shoot more mid-range jumpers now, so it's kind of your career can last a little bit longer now because you can do that.
And the league is not as brutal anymore,
right.
So injuries are not as much.
Right.
And that's the thing with LeBron James. This is where I will actually have to agree with the league. And when some of these guys say, it's not as physical, guys couldn't last as long back then because the league was brutal.
Right.
The league is like, no. Y'all going to have to stop clotheslining. This is not the WWE. This is the NBA. So y'all going to have to stop doing that so dudes can last a little bit longer. But therein lies my entire point about LeBron James, like what makes him the GOAT of this era. This man is going to hit 40,000. He's going to hit 40K. And
he's there now. He's 40 now.
He hit 40 already?
Yeah, because he remember he hit 38 in the regular season. Then you got
he's gonna hit 40 this season.
Well, look at it.
Look, LeBron James.
He's either like there or he's not too far because you got to count. Remember, you got to count in the playoffs too.
Yeah, King Jagan, you in the room? What's LeBron James overall stats? Did he hit?
He not. I don't think he's 38 no more. That's
38,390. So this season he's gonna hit 40,000 because he's gonna put up 2,000 points this season. That's easy.
Let me ask you this: is that regular season points or that's the whole career points? Because I know they're kind of different, huh?
They don't count Kareem Abdul-Jabbar's. They don't count Kareem Abdul-Jabbar's playoff points either. Because if you count Kareem Abdul-Jabbar's playoff points, Kareem Abdul-Jabbar already hit 40,000 already.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying.
But if you count LeBron James, I think LeBron James is like 41, 42 or some shit like that.
That's what I was thinking. I wasn't thinking about because some people like I got the record is like regular season games, not really playoff.
The top 5 scoring players of all time: LeBron James,
Kareem,
Karl Malone, Kobe Bryant,
and then Jordan 5, yeah.
Top 5, and that's why when people sit there and say Michael Jordan is blah blah this, I'm like, look, guys, don't get me wrong. I'm looking at the stats right now. This is absolute nuts. LeBron James plays the 5. This man averages 50% field goal. That is madness.
Hold on. Can I say something? Over 50% in
lifetime
in 3 eras.
Yeah,
you got the 2000s, the 10s, and you got the 20s. That's 3 eras, 50%.
3 eras, and my man's averaging 50%. Number 2, when people go, Michael Jordan is 6 for 6 in the finals. So Scottie Pippen. No other player in the NBA went to the finals 6 times and got 6 rings. Scottie Pippen. That's because Jordan carried him. Disrespect.
And led the team in every single category except for points.
Yeah, well, here's the thing about LeBron James. LeBron James averages career triple-double. Mm-hmm. He has 40,000 estimate 40,000 points, over 10,000 rebounds, and 10,000 assists. His career is a triple-double. Yep. There is no other player in the existence of the NBA that has that stat. No player.
I think he's number 1 in the playoffs too, in most categories, I believe.
Yeah, and this is what
points,
and then when
rebounds.
People will say, "Yeah, but Michael Jordan has more championships than him." Then I go, "So if you're gonna go by championships, then Bill Russell is the greatest. He has an AP and he has 11 rings. Oh man, Bill Russell don't count." And this is where you're like, "This is ridiculous." Like you people are you're gonna make this, and this is where the idolization comes from. Which let's use that to bring us full circle back to what we talked about, because we got derailed. Yeah, we got derailed. These guys like Bill Gates and these other people, they idolize themselves as gods, and they want people to idolize them. And there's a huge level of insecurity to want that idolization, which why is based on thou shalt not idol any other god, have any other god before him. You're not supposed to idolize anything. I don't idolize nothing. I don't idolize anything. Actually, he said LeBron is actually going to pass total points scored for any professional player ever. Oh shit. Oh, sorry about that. I didn't even know about that. That's crazy. But hey guys, drop a like in the channel. Leave a like on the stream, guys. It will help the channel grow. Thank you. Going back to what you're saying.
Here's another thing, right? So if you look at just try for us, please get Chris Matrix and start a sports podcast, please.
I'm not doing that. I start a sports podcast with like Jagan and brother. I died, but you died, but I'm not starting one with Chris Matrix because I start one with. Listen, I can't deal with fanboys and I don't even want to call them fanboys. I'm gonna make a whole new title. I can't deal with idolatrous. I do not like people who idolize. Look, you can be a fan. You could adore. You could support. When you idolize somebody, I'm not with it.
You can even praise a person like, oh yeah, he's the greatest.
You can do that.
But
when you idolize somebody, I like Michael Jordan. I'm a Chicago Bulls fan. My favorite player of all time is Scottie Pippen, not Jordan. Scottie Pippen. Well, who do you think is better? Jordan, clearly. Jordan, of course, Jordan's better than Pippen. I'm like, even though I like Pippen, I'm not like, it's obvious Jordan is better than Pippen, but like, I understand what Pippen has contributed, but I will not idolize Michael Jordan. And I hate the fact that people idolize Michael Jordan like this man. People don't understand the level. What make me like Scottie Pippen so much, and this is on a spiritual level, so it's not out of context of what we're talking about. Scottie Pippen tucked his pride, his insecurity, his seethingness. Everyone is like, yo, Pippen is wild for how he's going after Jordan. And I don't think people see the greatness in Pippen. Let me not paint a picture. Let me take you down a different path for this guy, Scottie Pippen. And this all has to deal with idolization. Everyone who sees Michael Jordan as the GOAT or the greatest of all time, there's a reason why Michael Jordan says Scottie Pippen is the greatest teammate I will ever have, ever. And that's because Scottie Pippen has done something no other player has done and has yet to do. He tucked in his pride, his insecurity, his ego. He tucked all of his sins in and said, I will allow the world to roast me so I can help Jordan get 6 rings. There's an interview he did with former NFL player, or I think it was some other dude. I don't know. It was from like Complex Magazine. And he's roasting Jordan. Jordan's a piece of shit. He did this to me, did that to me, blah, blah, blah. Everyone idolizes Michael Jordan. Everyone's like, oh, you bitter. And I don't think people understand, like, the bitterness that's coming out of Pippen. I'm proud of him. He held that bitterness in for 2 decades. No, 3. He held that bitterness in for 30 years. And while roasting Jordan, so he says, and even with all that with Michael Jordan and blah, 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 would you trade Michael Jordan to go with another championship or stay with him to get another championship? He said, hell no, I'll still work with that asshole. I don't think people understand the greatness in that. He's able to say, even though you've done me wrong, you made me second banana, you dissed me, you did all these things to me, the mission was more important. Guys like Scottie Pippen is the people God used to make the world better. Because these people have to sacrifice themselves for the mission to be done. Everyone's like, oh, but he's bitter and blah, blah. Ask yourself this question. Reverse the shoes. Would Michael Jeffrey Jordan put on Scottie Pippen sneakers? No way in hell. No player in the NBA. There's only one player in the NBA that I believe that would do it. LeBron James. And that's not, I know he would. It's maybe. Maybe LeBron James would do it.
No. Maybe. And when he joined the Lakers, when he got Anthony Davis over, he told Anthony Davis, the first thing he said was, I will step back so you could be the face of the Lakers. He said
true.
that.
That's true. So, yes. So LeBron James rather win. LeBron James would rather win that and deal with all of the negative that hits him. And people don't understand. That is why Michael Jordan said, Scottie Pippen is my greatest teammate of all time. Because Michael Jordan could not find no other player that would deal with his shit. And Pippen kept that in for 30 years. Michael Jordan then dissed him in the well, he didn't diss him directly. He did, however, bring up things he did not need to bring up.
Right.
And Scottie Pippen is like, yo, it's 20 years after our last championship. And Michael, like, you bringing up shit about the players on the team doing coke, even though Pippen wasn't one of them. You bringing up shit about me, and you wasn't even in the league when the shit happened.
Right.
All that stuff that you brought up, and then you made money off of the thing. You didn't even offer us any money. Why? As if you're my friend and I'm your greatest teammate of all time, before that went to this final phase of being cut and put out there for the world to see, why didn't you come to me and say, yo, Pippen, listen, for the sake of the film, I want to put this in because it shows that you're like, there's a, like, you're a great player, but there's a negative side to you. So, but I still want to use it because it's going to help us get ratings, and it's going to cement or maintain the dynasty of the Bulls, whatever. My man put that out behind Pippen's back. Right. Then here's the worst part, and this is the point Pippen is making. In the entire film, Jordan found fault and weakness and issues with every other player but himself. He was infallible in the last dynasty. He did no wrong. Draymond Green punches Jordan Poole in the face. Oh, what type of teammate are you? Michael Jordan punched Steve Kerr in the face 20 years before that. Yeah. And they said, that's because Michael Jordan wants to win, and it's the passion, and he wants Steve Kerr. Wait, what? But Horace Grant's like, he punched me in his face, I would have rearranged Jordan. And I don't give a shit what y'all think about how godlike Michael Jordan is. Michael Jordan is not beating Horace Grant in no fight. Cap. Horace Grant would have folded Jordan. Facts. Stop it, people. He would have said, listen, your fadeaway jumping from the foul line ass looking out of here. Like, stop. Like, I will fold you. Like, stop playing with me. That's why Jordan made sure he picked his fights with the right people. Like, you gonna punch Steve Kerr in the face. This man's like 2'3". He's not that short, but you get the point. Like, come on, man. But everyone lets Michael Jordan get away punching Steve Kerr in the face. But then you're going to get mad because Scottie Pippen got mad because refs is trying to diminish his light. The 1 year Michael Jordan steps away, this man does something no other player in the NBA has ever done. He led his entire team in every conceivable stat in a season. How are you the number one scorer on your team, the number one rebounder on your team, the number one blocker on your team? How are you blocking more people than your center? And you're the point forward. This is stupid. You're the number one assist on your team and the number one steals on your team and the number one field goal shooter on your team. That is foolishness. Jordan didn't do that. And that just goes to show you that's why the Bulls were able to win 6 titles in a row. If you have the best player of your generation on the team, and then you have the best overall player in the league on as your sidekick, and then you get the number one rebounder. Come on, who's beating your team? Talk about super team.
And in no championships, right? He was never the underdog. But none of them. All 6 of them.
And exactly, and never the underdog. And if you breathe next to Jordan, come on, people, let's not cap. Refs was making Jordan get away with everything. You know how many games the Bulls would have lost? I don't think people remember these games when Jordan started out the game 1 for 14. Yeah. And he just keeps shooting. So when Scottie Pippen said, yo, y'all are forgetting when Jordan came into this league, he was a horrible player. How did you say that? Oh my God. Yo, bro, when you're shooting bad shots, you need to stop and get your team involved. Stop shooting. When Pippen goes 1 for 6, he stops shooting. He tries to get the other team players involved. Reggie Miller said it. I've never met a player who could score 4 points in a game and dominate it. And there's who you talking about? Scottie Pippen. You see that game when he scored 4 points? My man was like 1 for 7. And he just stopped shooting. And he just defended, rebound, assist, and stole and was blocking and let Jordan do all the scoring. Michael would never do that. Michael would just keep shooting.
Here's another thing. I mean to cut you off, but here's another thing, right? They said when Jordan played when the Bulls played the Lakers, he was getting cooked by Magic. Magic was cooking him, like tearing him up in points, like scoring on him.
Yeah,
they made it's a thing on NBA 2K where it's called 94 feet, and what it means is you let's say there's a transition. Let's say Magic Johnson get the ball from his side of the goal. You know how they bring the ball in to do a transition. So Pippen
switches off to Magic.
Yeah, to Magic and guard him 94 feet to the other side.
Here's the thing now, right? Here's the thing what people try to take away from Pippen. It's if you're a Bulls fan, Scottie Pippen's job is to guard the best player on the opposite team.
Right.
Every team Jordan played against, Scottie Pippen guards the best player on the opposite team, not Michael Jordan. They never make Michael Jordan. Well, let me not say never, but Jordan guards anyone. But like the majority of the guarding is Scottie Pippen. That's what they had to do. That's why. All right, when they said, "Yo, Jordan, guard Iverson," once that crossover happened, they said, "Nah, Pippen, guard Iverson," because we can't have this Iverson making their poster boy look like dog shit. When they fight the Lakers, Pippen, you're gonna guard Kobe. They put Jordan on Eddie Jones. Come on, bro. Like, come on, stop that. Don't do that, man.
So I think it was I forgot what is a podcast that we watched.
Scottie Pippen on Clyde Drexler. Scottie Pippen on Charles Barkley.
Yeah.
Scottie Pippen always had to go, and this is what freed up Jordan to become. That's why they said if the 2016 Golden State Warriors played against the 96 Bulls, what's the first thing everyone say? Oh, Pippen's on KD. Why'd you put Pippen on KD immediately? Come on, man. We all know what this is about.
So here's the thing, right? So I forgot. I'm trying to think his name. I got his name in my mind. Gilbert
Arenas.
Gilbert Arenas, right? So
he's an actor.
Yeah, you got to watch the podcast, but it'll be funny.
I do. He's an actor, but he be keeping it bad.
Yeah. He dropped 40 on Jordan. 40.
Of course.
So I'm trying to think. Well, if you look at Jordan era, right? This is when Magic. This is when Bird was getting old. At that time, there was nobody that was equivalent to them. Because Jordan and Magic was getting old. They had a lot of injuries and stuff like that. That was the only way out. They didn't have a person that could match those level of you just say Gil dropped 60 on Kobe too. Yeah. So they didn't have a person to match Magic and Bird other than just Jordan by itself. So they made him the poster child. Now, if you look at the NBA today, they marketing multiple people. You got Ja Morant. You got Giannis Antetokounmpo. You got LeBron. What's the dude? You got Kyrie Irving. You got Kevin Durant. You got Jimmy Butler. You got what's the other dude? What's the white dude that played for Denver Nuggets? Jokic.
Yeah,
Jokic. They got so many people. And what's that dude from Dallas? White dude. Luka. Right, they got so many people they can market. 10 people. Jason Tatum, Jaylen Brown. They got about 10 different superstars they can market. So you can't. That's why you look every year. Like for the past 5 or 6 years, it's different teams.
Mm-hmm.
You know, they didn't have consecutive back to back like Kobe and Shaq era or Jordan or Pippen era. There was no consecutive because a lot of teams didn't have that number one like Jordan and Pippen. They didn't have a lot of teams like Shaq and Kobe. They have a lot of teams like every team has a superstar that can score 40 points or 60 points. Damian Lillard, even though he's on a bad team, there's multiple players could score just as well as the top 5 or top 2. So that they can market so many different players. Back then in Jordan era, there was only Jordan that could really I ain't gonna say that could really reach that could score that many, but they at the time they didn't have that.
Abdul Rahim Rauf, I forgot his name. He was on the Denver Nuggets. He cooked Jordan for like 50 twice. Stop playing with these people. Like, there's a lot of dudes, and the NBA does a great job hiding these guys who literally roast Jordan. I'm not talking about Washington Wizards Jordan. I'm talking about Chicago Bulls Jordan.
Wizards. You talking about Wizards?
Yeah. Well, actually, they were called the Bullets before they changed to the Wizards. Yeah. But a lot of people keep forgetting. Like, Michael needed Scotty. Scotty definitely needed Michael, but like neither one of them. It is cemented in history. Neither one of them is winning anything without each other. And in order for that to happen, it required someone to selflessly sacrifice. So all the hatred that's coming for Pippen, I don't even stress it. I'm like, nah, you earned all of that release, bro. Get that off your chest like breast reduction. Let it all go, bro. Let it all. Cause he had to order for the Chicago Bulls to have the dynasty that they have and give those people those 8 years of greatness and memories and happiness and championships. He had to eat that. So everybody got to eat this. Everybody got to eat it.
Well, so there's a quote. I'm trying to think of the name of the quote. It's like I ain't gonna say the greater you are, but the richer. I don't know if it's richer or the most popular that you are, the lesser your sin is. And people be like, "What do you mean by that?" It's like the more like some people can't get away with certain things that other people get away with. So, example, if Jordan hitting Steve Kerr. Look at Draymond hitting Jordan Poole. The reason why people was giving Draymond so much flack and not Jordan, because they seen Jordan as a greater player, as they seen him as an idol. So
their idolization has made them hypocrites.
Right.
And that's why I will never do a sports podcast with Jordan fan, because Jordan, look, no one is sitting here saying Jordan is not great, but to call him the greatest is actually statistically absurd. Oh crap. It's statistically absurd, because he's my man. Michael Jordan has 10 scoring titles. Yeah, he was the best shooter in his era. And he was scoring this and scoring that. Okay, that's fine. Yeah, if you breathe next to Jordan, foul. My man, go look at Michael Jordan's free throw percentage. My man was at the free throw line like it was nothing. My man was averaging 10 points a game from the free throw line. That's why he was averaging 30. Michael Jordan is a 30-point scorer, right? He averaged 30 points, right? So that means Michael Jordan is averaging 20 points from the field and 10 points from the line. So he was averaging that. Like, come on, man. Like, people need to like he was great in his era, but Jordan will get cooked in this era. Oh, you crazy. What is Jordan going to do to a player like Kyrie? First of all, the players in the NBA are smarter now. They're actually smarter. Ain't nobody, you are not going to tell me only Scottie Pippen. I'm going to think of the cerebral ones, the cerebral players.
In the era or the NBA period?
In Jordan's era, the actual cerebral players. Because, like, greatest mind in the NBA is LeBron James. He's a player coach. He's a player coach who's playing at 38 at the level of a 25-year-old. Stupid. That's actually stupidness. But like a cerebral player of the 90s, Michael Jordan's era. Scottie Pippen.
That's probably
No, there's others.
The glove?
Scottie. No, not Gary Payton.
You don't think so?
John Stockton. Hold on. I'm gonna find some more. Let me go through the teams. I'm going through the teams.
I think Zeke.
Derek Harper of the Knicks.
You don't think Isaiah Thomas?
No. Isaiah Thomas was on his way out. I'm talking about Jordan's era.
Oh, in 90s. Damn, I don't...
Hold on. People who can read the floor. Who else? I'm trying to go through all the players, bro.
To be honest,
I'm going through each of the teams. There's some smart guys. Actually, Barkley was actually smart as well. But there's people smarter than Barkley.
Well, I would say like the 90s is more like a coach era. You think about it, because remember what's his name that played the coach for the Bulls?
Phil Jackson. Yes. Remember what did Phil Jackson and Tex Winter said? When we built the triangle offense, only person who could run the triangle offense, Scottie Pippen.
Yeah. But he also brought that triangle defense to the Lakers too.
The Lakers. Yeah. That's what the Kobe Bryant said. I never knew how Phil Jackson, when he brought the triangle offense and the triangle defense over, that made me appreciate Scottie Pippen's defensive game. I started studying tapes on how Scottie Pippen's defensive. This guy's like a genius. And that's what made. And like when you have the Mamba talking about you like that, you can't just come on, man, get out of here. We ain't gonna sit there and disrespect Scottie Pippen. Michael Jordan knew what he had. But like I said, John Stockton, Derek Harper from the Knicks, Scottie Pippen.
Kevin Garnett. He was a defense man. You can look at
Kevin Garnett. That's true.
You got
Paul Pierce.
Paul Pierce. No, I wouldn't say that.
What? Paul Pierce?
No, I can show you on Kevin Garnett. The Kevin Garnett podcast he had. He had brought Paul Pierce on there. He was talking about Paul Pierce. Paul Pierce didn't know like any defensive scheme until Kevin Garnett came to the team from the Timberwolves. I can show you.
Oh, yeah, you're right. Yeah. That's not correct.
You got not Ginobili. Tony.
No, Ginobili.
Tony Parker.
Tony Parker and Ginobili. Tim
Duncan. Yeah. That's you can look that up.
Yo, Spurs had some geniuses on their team. Hold on.
You can say it's Popovich helped a lot.
It is Popovich, but remember, at the end of the day, the players have to be able to understand the coaches and run the plays.
Right.
You like just because of like the coach's job is to teach the players, and the players' job is to execute what the coaches do. So there was only a handful of some cerebral assassins in Jordan's era. And I'm not saying Jordan wasn't a cerebral assassin, but I wouldn't even put Jordan top 5. I wouldn't put him top 5.
To be honest with you, he was not a plan or break down a defense type of guy. He was not like
Michael Jordan. Michael Jordan didn't need to plan anything.
Just give me the ball and I'll shoot.
Michael Jordan, he depended 100% on his athletic talent. Yeah. His athletic talent and ability was so godlike. It's like coaching it's not important. My man literally told Phil Jackson, I'm not running that play. I'm doing this. And he was just godlike like that. And he did it.
But think about this too. You could say in the 90s and the 80s era, it was more of a specialist. So you had a Steve Kerr. Steve Kerr, he was not the dude that gonna he might take the ball up a couple times the field, but he's a 3-point specialist. Like you passing the ball, he on the 3-point line, he stays on the 3-point line, he gonna shoot. Back then, there was more specialists, defensive specialists, rebound. Dennis Rodman with the rebounds. He was all Dennis Rodman did was get rebounds. That's it.
Yeah, that's his job. That's his job. And this is my entire point about. I can listen to Kobe break down the game. Can hear the passion in his voice very much. Yeah. These facts, right? And this is what I was talking about. When people like Michael Jordan redefined basketball, my man redefined the shooting guard position. And I'm like, Scottie Pippen invented a entire new position. Scottie Pippen was cheating on defense so much, there were 6 people. The Bulls had 6 players on the floor. Point forward is so unfair. It actually should be illegal, to be very honest with you. I forgot the 2 coaches who was like, it's ridiculous because it's like Scottie Pippen, his defense was so masterful. It left the refs confused on whether or not it was illegal defense. But they didn't know, so they just left it alone. Because my man said, the new position that I'm going to play and I'm going to run the triangle defense, you can't call illegal defense on me, but I'm going to guard 2 people. What? Yeah. My wingspan is so large, I'm going to be on 1 person, but my wingspan and my step, not my lateral step, my side lateral step is so wide, I can cover 2 people. That's why, what was the number one? Oh, the best breakaway wingmen, offensive in the game. Michael Jordan, Scottie Pippen. Yeah, because why? Pippen with the steal to Jordan, back to Pippen, the alley-oop, Michael Jordan. It's like, and what are you gonna do? In fact, once it's a breakaway, stop running. Just go back on defense. Don't commit a foul to Pippen or Jordan. This is stupid. Once they steal the ball and Michael's on your left and Scotty's on your right, let him dunk it. Just get back on defense, bro. Don't get posterized and then put them on the line for an extra point. That's just stupid. And it's cheating too.
I think there's a lot of people on in today's NBA. They got a lot of people who's smart defense wise. The game period. You got so actually, I can name a lot of them. I can tell you, we could name a lot of them right now.
The smartest of all time is LeBron James.
Mm-hmm. You got LeBron James, Chris Paul. You got Draymond Green.
Draymond Green, yes.
What's that a dude?
On that side, Chris Paul. We can't disrespect Chris.
Chris Paul.
Who else is godlike in this era? Actually understands to a degree, Steph. To a degree. Steph can see the floor and he's shorter than everybody.
Well,
but he can see the floor. But same thing as Chris Paul.
I'm trying to think.
Who's that guy on
Rondo?
the Milwaukee Bucks?
You got Rondo. You talking about Rondo not in the league no more. He just got out, but Rondo was like that. You talking about the dude with he got braids in his head. Not braids, like little
he's bald. He's bald.
He bald?
Yeah, he's bald. Ah, crap.
Middleton?
Milton, yeah.
No. I won't give it to him though. I'm not him.
Why?
I will get to the other dude. The one that came from New Orleans. With the braids in his head. He was with Giannis. He was Giannis. Got Giannis Middleton, and they call him the NBA call him the most underrated player, like most underrated top player.
Oh, he would be new to me then.
No, you seen him. I forgot his name. He's played defense.
I've probably seen him, but I can't remember. I can't get him off name or like off his name.
Drew Holiday.
Oh, Drew Holiday.
Yeah,
You're right.
Drew Holiday. Right. You got Drew Holiday. You got LeBron, Drew Holiday, Chris Paul.
Who's that guy? Who's that boy? Who's that flamethrower from the Atlanta Hawks? Trae Young.
Trae Young? You like Trae Young?
Yeah. His vision on the court is his. You know what the problem is?
Oh, we got Luka too. Forgot about Luka too.
Well, yeah, Luka in this generation definitely.
And
but they got to get Trae Young to the Lakers.
I'm trying to think.
Definitely
got another one too. Devin Nuggets. I keep forgetting his name. He averaged triple double. Jokic. Yeah.
Murray. Yep. Jokic and Murray. That's a dangerous combo, by the way.
Yeah.
Like you can't be average. Two players cannot have a triple double in the same game. That's actually stupid. Yeah, that's real foolishness right there. I'm
trying to think.
Yeah, there's damn. The players are smarter. I tell you that much. The players are smart in this generation. They may not be as rough and tough as the other players, but you don't need to be. They're actually more skilled. They may not be as rough and tough, but they're more athletic, they're more skilled, and they're smarter.
Yeah. I mean, so I seen I forgot what I seen podcast, but they were talking about the NFL. They were saying like, even though the NFL is more careful today, it's still more injuries than ever before. I don't get why. Why do you think there's more injuries now? Back then, it's less physical. Because
everyone's getting stronger. The players are stronger, and this is a contact sport in an era where everyone is drugging up on the new legal steroid. Like, bro, the NFL players, if they hit the players back then will die.
I seen a lot of CTE, and I got people in the league for 3 years got CTE, like going crazy. out their mind. But to come back in full circle about how these people want to be controlling everything, want to be God, want to be idolized is really it's crazy. So if you look at the example, right? Bill Gates, we look at Microsoft, right? Microsoft just bought Activision, right? Now, before Steve Jobs passed away, this is like years, like maybe like early 2000s, he was saying that Microsoft doesn't have a culture. They feel like they gotta buy everything, and when they have the money for everything, they'll just go buy it. So if you look at the many companies that Microsoft bought, they bought
tried to buy Nintendo. Nintendo was like, get out of my face.
Yeah, I seen that. They trying to get Mixer. Remember they bought Mixer, the live stream place? They bought Mixer.
Yeah.
And when they bought Mixer, a year or two, it went down. They don't have no cost. They don't know how to keep it up with it. Look what they're doing now with Game Pass. They see a Game Pass, if you don't have about like 28, it don't have 50 million or 80 million subscribers, Xbox can no longer be in a gaming industry anymore because there's so much money being dished out. And Steve Jobs, which is Apple, is the number one company in the world right now, the richest company in the world, trillions of dollars, more than Microsoft, by the way. Steve Jobs said Microsoft doesn't have a culture. They believe since they have a lot of money, they could just take something instead of creating new ideas, instead of creating new avenues and new usher out new stuff. They will buy everything and try to take the technology from it, and then try to you ever notice after they buy something a few years later it crashes, it don't look good. Look at Elon Musk. Look at Elon Musk did. He wanted to buy Twitter to get all the data that like Elon Musk literally said he's gonna create some like topics or some stuff like that on Twitter, and then take the data from people, like how people react, what they react to. Like they'll put like the pandemic, they'll put like food. Like he'll put like a topic on Twitter, and he will see the data, like how people feel about it. He will take that data for something that he said 10 years ago. I'm trying to put people mind into a robotic body. That's what he literally said. Put a chip in people's brains. That's what he literally said. That's the reason why he bought Twitter. And guess what happened to Twitter now? Twitter is about to be out of business. Twitter is the number one. You can look at it. Twitter is the number one social media besides Instagram. I think it's way past that. Everybody has a Twitter. Everybody. Every big news station, every big sports player, every big NBA player, like you got to go to Twitter. Twitter is like the hub for everything, right? And he's saying, I'm going to start charging. Now, Twitter was free. Now he's going to try to start a subscription base simply because he's losing a lot of money. The purpose he wanted to use it for, he didn't. Matter of fact, he didn't want to buy Twitter at the end, but he was forced to because he already paid a certain amount of money. He was forced to. He couldn't back down. He said you got to pay $10 trillion or something not trillion dollars, but something like 10 billion. If he wanted to back out, he has to pay 10 billion to the people that he bought it from, because they already had like deals and certain plans in a way. And by him canceling, that's messed their money up. People trying to sell it. But if you look at all these big rich billionaires, they're always into something that's trying to control the world or some fashion. They're always trying to do something to take over. Like, I don't understand why people feel like I gotta take over the world. I never understood that. Like
insecurity in their lives. They're trying to prove something to themselves and other people, and no one cares but themselves.
And they rather destroy, and crazy is they rather destroy other people's lives, just to prove a point.
Yep.
They rather destroy your life just to prove a point. For what? For what? Ain't no one man cannot control the world. That's the hardest thing. That's one of the hardest things to do. It's one of the hardest things. It's like, and I tell people all the time, right? I told this chick, right? Just like years ago. Like I could wake up every day, every morning, and tell you, good morning, you're beautiful. I can say this every morning. I wake up, good morning, beautiful, good morning. If you don't feel that way, if you don't feel beautiful, whatever I say doesn't matter. It doesn't matter, because you still feel like you're not beautiful enough. So if just that small concept of like thinking you know, you could say it and you can even demonstrate good things to a person, or even it could be anything. That person, if that person don't feel that way, it's impossible to do that. It's impossible to get that person to feel a certain way. It's impossible. It's hard to do. Oh, you talking about Trillex? So they said, didn't God destroy someone's life to prove a point to the devil? The God's faith wouldn't wait. Oh, you talking about Job? Well, he didn't.
but
he didn't destroy his life.
He gave back Job's life 10 times better than the one he destroyed.
Right. Yeah. He didn't destroy it, particularly destroy his life. Destroy kids died. Yeah, his kids died. He lost a lot of money. He lost houses. So yeah, and then remember, Job's wife was like, here's what we talk about. Here's something else we talk about. Job's wife was like, oh, why you ain't, why you ain't going at the Most High? Why you still messing with the Most High? He took all that from you. And what Job said, you a foolish woman. Like, be quiet. You a foolish woman. I'm not gonna go against the Most High. And guess what happened to him? Guess what happened to Job? He got like Trifle said, 10 times fold. Way better life than he was before. So I mean, it's simple, right? It's like life is real simple. Life is real simple. Life is complicated when you try to change things that you can't control. And you look at, again, all these billionaires and people in power, they want to control everybody. For what? Like a man cannot control anything. Even if a man, you take a gun to a man's head, it's a strong will you gotta have. I'm not saying every man got this. It's a strong will to ever have. I'd rather die before I ever do anything stupid like that. Like I'd rather struggle. Like I tell people, I'd rather struggle than to steal something for somebody else. Not everybody blessing is your blessing. Not your blessing is not for everybody. You know what I'm saying? If you see a basketball player, a black basketball player, he got into the league, he got millions of dollars, that's his life. I gotta work a 10-hour shift every day to get money to be comfortable with my family. He don't have to do so. He probably gotta do something that he love and play basketball. That's his life. You can't be mad and jealous mad or jealous at that man because he took a different path from you. So like I want to be on a certain level, like this YouTube stuff. Like I want to be on a Joe Budden level, or podcast level. Like when I'm saying like makes money off of living, have a great podcast that people can enjoy and watch. I want to be like that, but I'm not gonna hit on Joe Budden or like go after him because he's a bigger platform. Why would I do that? And then it's another thing. Like I see, like example, I watch a lot of Call of Duty, like a Call of Duty, YouTube or stuff like that, right? If you see them, if you see like a lot of YouTubers, just general, they have like a fake voice. It's not really them. Oh man, I'm so excited about getting this today. It's like being fake. If you look at certain podcasts, if you look at this too, look at the networks, right? You got Skip Bayless, you got Stephen A. Smith. They kind of got like the same podcast. And what I mean by that is it's kind of like corporate. Like if you look at It Is What It Is. What's that dude again? I keep saying his name. Forget his name. Gilbert Arenas. Look at their podcast. Their audience loved them. You know why? Because it's a culture. They got ESPN and they got FS1. Their ratings is not as high as these podcasts when it comes to sports analysts, right? Because the culture. And I feel like everybody is having the same podcast. I feel like everybody having the same. Well, the network wise, like corporate wise, I feel like everybody corporate wise is had the same podcast. It gets old. It gets boring. This is why you see a lot of NFL players, NBA players making their own podcast. And you can see how it's very, very different. You can see how it's like if you watch if like the Trifle was saying, you watch Gilbert Arenas podcast, you're laughing.
There's three podcasts, former player podcasts. If you watch their podcast, it's the most entertaining podcast, the most dynamic storytelling. Kevin Garnett, Gilbert Arenas, Emma Shumpert, from the Mixer, and those guys. Their storytelling is immaculate. Mm-hmm. They make you really understand the grit behind the NBA.
Right. You get like you said, you get key details that a lot of people don't know, and that's what makes people like them, right? And I feel like, and what I mean by that, I feel like again these billionaires, even these like people in the rap game and stuff like that. What new these rappers doing? There's nothing new. If you go back to the 90s, right? Every rapper was different. You couldn't compare one rapper to another one because they was all different. And what I mean by that is now who's you could name like 4 or 5 rappers that sound exactly the same. You wouldn't know if a song come out, you wouldn't know who it was. So I feel like people take a blueprint and follow that same blueprint instead of being different. That's like an example. You can't put you got conscious rappers. You could say Common, you could say J. Cole, you could say Kendrick, you could say Busta Rhymes. You can name all 5 of those dudes, right? Well, 4 or 5 of those dudes. All of them rap different. Rap totally different. They're conscious rappers, but they rap totally different. And that's why they can last long. They last long in the game because it's different. You could have you got Lil Yachty, Lil Red, or all these different rappers. They sound exactly the same. They come out with 2 or 3 years, maybe 5 years. They come out and then they die because the music sound the same. Nobody want to be original. Everybody want to take the blueprint and try to follow that blueprint. I don't want to follow. If you look at like for example, if Triforce do a podcast, his podcast is how you do it is one way. My podcast gonna be different. I don't want copy of a Triforce podcast because they're gonna be like, well, my podcast and his podcast is the same. They're gonna try to compare. Like it's like comparing Jordan to LeBron. It's 2 completely different players. You can't put in the same realm, but people do it because they're the face or they. I don't know. It just people. It's like idolizing. Like even if you look at LeBron players, right? Like LeBron fans, they're not gonna say Jordan trash. They're not gonna say that. They will say LeBron number 1, Jordan number 2. But if you talk to Jordan players,
Jordan fans, they will literally say LeBron sucks.
Yeah, trash.
Like how is that? How can you sit there and say that?
Right. That's the thing, right? So. Bring another dude up. Skip Bayless. Skip Bayless said he got LeBron number 8 of his all-time list. But guess what? His career was based on what? The scrutinizing LeBron.
Yeah.
And he said, I watch every minute and every second of a LeBron game. But you got LeBron number 8. Number 8. You watching? He said, even said, I watched him more than I ever watched Jordan. And he's the number 1. You could say he's the number 1 Jordan fan because he's the defender. So and then Skip Bayless said he idolized Jordan. He said it numerous times on the show. I idolized Jordan. So nobody could say could like put him in perspective that Jordan is not number 1. He's going to argue that. Same thing with Stephen A. Smith. They're stuck in they're so stuck in their era. They think when they say Jordan is number 2 that Jordan is trash, but nobody's saying Jordan is trash. They'll come with all the excuses in the world to protect Jordan, and that's part of idolizing. Like you can see, I seen somebody like in high school, right? I see somebody in high school. Let's say that they were teasing somebody, right? And since he was popular, since he was cool with everybody, and everybody knew him, he was doing like dirty stuff to this person. Now, there's a person that a lot of people didn't like. They would scrutinize him, but he did the same exact thing as the person that was popular, and then people didn't go at him like that. It's like I ain't gonna say it's part of life, but it's like people get away with certain stuff that other people can't do. It's always gonna be like that. If you're more popular, you got more leeway to do sin. That's what it's saying. The higher or the better, the higher or the more famous you are. The higher or more famous you are, the lesser your sin is, according to people. So, I mean,
is it the lesser the sin, or they just ignore your sins? Because that's
let me see.
The things that Bill Gates does around this world. It is crazy. His sins aren't even like, I don't understand how you ignore those sins. those sins are paid in like death, and it ain't in his death. It's other people's death. So I don't understand how people even ignore Mr. Gates' sins. I don't understand it.
Hold on, I'm about to find it for you right now.
Okay, but that's wow. Why would God even what? So I can't. There's a part is in the way. I can't read.
So he said, okay, that's wild. He's talking about Job. He said, that's wild. Why would God even do that like that for what? I don't get it. It's
because he can explain. Yeah, explain it. Give me a second.
It's like it's like example, right? You don't know anybody whose life it was always good. You don't know somebody whose life is like that was always on a high point. He always win, right? So the Most High was proving a point to Satan that basically saying Satan that you don't have no power. You don't have no power over Job. And nothing you could do to Job that could take him off track of the Most High. So it's like testing, right? It's like you go to school and in order to know that you know the information. So for example, you get English class, they'll tell you, write a paragraph. They will say, like example, they'll give like in reading, they will tell you read this book, and they'll ask you a question about the book, right? How can we test somebody? How can we know somebody is true until we test them, right? So example, like so they say in a relationship, right? You wouldn't know how you could tell how much you love somebody by the trial and tribulation you go through, right? So it's all this is testing the love of the Most High, right? So you wouldn't know, like you say you got a wife or whatever, a girlfriend, whatever. You wouldn't know how much she loved you until hard times come. So that basically that's what Job mean. That's what Job and the Job situation was. It's like, well, you know me, you love me so much. Job loved me so much that even at his worst, he would not apart away from me. That's what it basically was. Like a test. All it is a test. Just think about, again, you and your lady you're dating, you could tell how much she love you by the stuff that you go through, all the trial and tribulation. Is she gonna be around when stuff is hard? Because she sure is around you when stuff is going good for you. So when stuff get tough, is she's going to be there? That's basically what it is, like a test of how much you love someone, right? Now you might not.
And he put him through the ultimate test,
right? So you might think like I don't get it, but it's more like a test, the test of love, right? Like in the Bible, it says, like example, the Bible will say you cannot bribe the Most High. There's no way. What can you give? What can you give the Most High that He don't already have? That's a strong man. Like example, they say a moral over money, right? There's no amount of money you could, no amount of money you get to a certain person. A strong person, no matter how much money you'll give him, he will not do a certain thing for him. Like he would not do that. He would not go overboard with that.
Now I'm glad you brought this up. Now, in Kingdom of Heaven, Orlando Bloom's character never sinned or never did any major sin in his life. His wife was sick. She died. The brother chopped off her head because to send her to hell for no reason, to piss off his brother, Orlando Bloom, right? Orlando Bloom kills his brother out of wrath and vengeance, right? He says he needs to go to Israel to see if he can talk to God and ask God for his sins. Fixed, right? His father knights him and makes him a baron and tells him, do not lie, even if it means your death. Help the helpless, do good for the people, protect the innocent, right? And my man, that movie is actually very good because it showed you just how wicked those people who claim to be Christians. So I'm gonna stop calling people who are under the Christian religion Christian. If you don't live the Christian life, I don't give a shit what your religion is. You're not Christian. You're a religious person. That's it. Because This guy called Renault was just walking, saw a caravan of Muslim people just go about their business. And the man said, we got to kill these people. He's like, why? It's a caravan. The note, that's a small little army or whatever. And they're like, yeah, but if we do this, this will call the wrath of Salahuddin. He's like, so? And I'm like, bro, you're wearing a cross on your shirt. You claim to be like God's people, and you're just going to go slaughter random people for no reason? And like, these are the people who give people of God who find God through religion. Because you can find some people are not. Let me change my phrase I'm about to say. Some people need religion to find God. Others do not. And when you have people going around misrepresenting Muslims, misrepresenting Christians and so forth, it's just unfortunate because it demonizes the other to be some type of wickedness that it isn't. And they're just trying to follow a moral code and a way of life that appeases God through righteousness. And Orlando Bloom's character is God puts him through the test, bro. He goes through it, man. He goes through it. Did you see that part where he was in a burning bush? Yeah, I'm sorry, I'm eating something at the same time. There's a burning bush. He's talking to this knight behind him who's been with him since the beginning of the movie. And he throws a rock, some type of plant, the same plant that was on Mount Sinai with Moses. And it catches fire. But he doesn't hear anything. And he looks and he turns back to the knight and he says, there it goes. Turn a bush corral into fire. But I can't hear God. And then the knight says, just because you can't hear God does not mean God does not exist. And he gives him some good words of advice and some spiritual guidance or whatever the case may be. And then Orlando Bloom, and he's like, well, I gotta go. So he's like, where you going?
Hold on, come back.
And he's like, I have to prepare for what's to come. And I have to pray. Blah, 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 blah. Because he's like, Saladin is coming. Because of the things, not him personally, but his sect of Christians have done. And he said, rightfully so, which is crazy, which means he knows the people within his sect has done wrong. And then Orlando says, okay. And he turns around and the second bush catches on fire with no stone thrown. And he's like, what the hell? Then he turns around to look back for the knight. Man's gone. And they were in a wasteland. Like, where did he go to? I say that God was in that guy. God was using that guy. Not that he was God incarnate, but like, because, God uses people for his messages and deeds. That's what I got out of it. But if you guys have not seen Kingdom of Heaven, you guys need to go over there, check one of them pirated sites or whatever, because Netflix be bumming it and don't want to put the damn movie back up. But watch it. I think the reason why I don't want to put the movie back up is because the Muslims win in the end of that movie.
I'm getting tested right now. You eating and drinking. I can't do that till 7:00 p.m. tomorrow.
Oh my bad. Hold on.
You good. No,
I'm gonna cover my screen.
You good. They ain't hurting me. They hurt me at all.
I'm not gonna tempt you though.
No, hey, nothing you can do to tempt me. I trust me. I went to a cookout. Didn't eat. So it's all good. It's all
supposed to be sharing this with my wife. Not my fat gluttonous self is eating it up.
Mm-hmm.
I said I'm supposed to be sharing it with my wife, but my fat gluttonous self is eating it up.
It's there for a reason. But yeah, man. Like I gotta say it earlier. Like this year totally it's been good for me. I have no complaints about this. It's probably best years mentally wise and like everything, just life period for me, way better. and I don't know. I feel like every year it gets better and better for me, and I feel like the world get worse every year for me. Like not for me, but like not for me particularly. Like just like you see stuff yeah, like the world in general. I feel like my life now for like the past 5-6 years is every year got better, and then while I get better, the whole world is crumbling. It's always tsunami. Well, what's that place that got flooded? Like it said, like maybe like 10,000 people. Man, they said that stuff was terrible. A flood, and if you look at it right now, there's no water in sight. It looks super dry out there, and it's supposed to have just massive flooding that kill a lot of people. So, people blaming they're blaming what that global warming and stuff like that. To be honest with you, if you look at the people who really been affected, these are the same people that had the children of Israel, us, in shambles. Think about it. Just look at it. Look at all this stuff that's going on. It's not really black folks, Latinos, it's Native Americans. It's not really our people getting messed over like that. It's just every other country that had a part of doing us wrong. Think about it.
That's true.
If you just sit there and think about it, you got African countries going through it. You got countries like China with the sun they made. Remember, China created their own sun, and
I didn't even know about that.
Yeah, better go look. Yeah,
made their own sun.
Made their own sun. I think it was China. Yeah, I think it was China. And guess they going through hell right now. They're going through hell right now. We just gotta they're saying but where I live at now, not in my particular area, but a certain parish, the salt water is mixing with the fresh water. So that's a bad thing because a lot of our water dependent on, if you got salt water, you can't drink salt water. Water, you can't, your body can't, even if it's a little bit, it'll fuck you up. It'll mess you up. You can't just scoop or take a glass and scoop of salt water and drink it. You will die from dehydration. That's how bad it was. That's how bad it is.
Do you know about the Euphrates River drying up?
I heard about it. Yeah, I heard about it. Yeah, I seen like a lot of places that was rivers. Now it's not a river or a lake. It's
Revelation says something about the Euphrates River drying up.
Mm-hmm. And Euphrates River is one of the rivers that's connected to the Garden of Eden. Think about that.
Mm-hmm.
If we go back in Genesis,
can you look up in the Bible what happens when the Euphrates River dries up?
Let me see. Hold on. I find it for you right now.
It's pretty, one of those.
I'm about to find it. I got it right here. Let me see. Oh, I find it here right now. Look,
there's 4 angels under that river, according to the Bible.
I got it right here.
According to Scripture.
Oh, hold on. Oh, 12. Okay, I got it right here. There you go. Can you see that?
Give me a second to go to it. We move this now that I fix it. And the 6th angel poured out his vial upon the great river Euphrates, and the water therefore was dried up, that the way of the king of the east might be prepared. Preparation for Armageddon.
There you go. Look, there you go. Right there. Look, the 6 bowls of wrath. He said, at the first went and poured out his veil upon the earth, and there a noisome and grievous sore upon the men who had the mark of the beast, and upon them which worshipped his image. See, second angel poured out his vial upon the sea, and it became blood of a dead man, and every living soul in the sea. And the third angel poured out his vial upon the rivers, fountains of water, and they became blood. And I heard an angel say, the angel of the water say, "Thou art righteous, O Lord, which are waste and shall be, because thou hast judged us." 6 verse 6, for they have shed blood of saints and prophets, and thou have given them blood to drink. They are worthy. You see, a fourth angel poured out his vial upon the sun, and power was given unto him to scorch men with fire. Hold on. Let's see if I can find an article right quick. China is making a mini sun as a global fusion race heats up. China just launched its artificial sun to show its China's artificials.
Well, why would you even want to create your own sun? Why? This doesn't even make this. This is the arrogance of man.
Okay. Now listen to this, right? It says China's artificial sun has set a new record after superheating a loop of plasma to temperatures 5 times hotter than the sun for more than 17 minutes. The East experimental advanced superconductor tokamak, nuclear fusion reactor, maintain a temperature of 150 million degrees Fahrenheit, 70 million degrees Celsius in 1,056 seconds, according to, I don't even know how to say his name. Anyway, we'll call it XNA. The achievement brings scientists a small yet significant step closer to the creation of a source of near unlimited clean energy. Chinese experiment nuclear fusion reactor smashed the previous record set by France Tour Super Tokamak in 2003. Wait, so they've been doing it since 2003. But France, where plasma is in a cooling loop remaining at similar temperatures 390 seconds each, had previous set record in May 2021 by running for 101 seconds set at precedent 216 million Fahrenheit. The core of the actual sun, by contrast, reaches temperature 27 million. Wow. Well, I think the reason why they was making a new sun, because they're saying something about there wasn't getting enough rain or something like that. The sun was gonna give them more rain or some shit. So why is trying to build? Well, let me see. We're trying to find out right now. What is a clean source of power that could what is a clean source of power that could provide clean and unlimited energy? Nuclear energy, which is used nuclear fissions comes to mind, but there's no potential. There's another potential source of energy that would promote sustainability. Nuclear fusion. Nuclear fusion, the opposite of nuclear fissions. Fissions means splitting atoms apart, which is a result of release of energy. Fusion is 2 atom nucleate combined of a heavier nucleus. Fusion is the process that sun powers the sun stars. Now, this is interesting, right? Now, if you do research about Tesla, right?
Yeah.
He came out and said, I'm not talking about Elon Musk, but Tesla. He came out and said that we could get unlimited source of power from the sun. So my thing is, if we could get a limited source of power from the sun, why are they trying to create a new sun?
This is what I'm talking about. A level of arrogance to play with God. Dudes want to follow Lucifer so bad. It's ridiculous. I sometimes wonder if it's just Lucifer trying to work through them. Trying to prove it like, hey, look, God, I got one of your peoples over here. I'm going to get one of these dumbasses to, what you got, a sun? I'm going to make a sun hotter than yours. Ha ha.
Well, let me see.
God is like, all right, bro.
Unlimited power. See, people trying to, like we told earlier, people want to try to play God. Hey, they're trying to play as they are God. Now, Tesla, I've seen it somewhere, but Tesla was talking about, explain, a Tesla explain. I gotta find it. I gotta find it where Tesla was talking about, was talking about that we could get unlimited power from the sun, but if we get unlimited power from the sun, why are we making, or not we? Why are China making their own sun to get clean energy? That's what they consider it, right? They say that's what they said right here, right? It says, what is a clean source of power that could provide clean and unlimited energy? And it says nuclear energy. Now, if we know, we could get nuclear from the sun. Why do you need it? Why do you need to create a sun that's hotter than? Well, I don't know. That's what I'm trying to figure out. If they get unlimited, they already said they could get unlimited power from the sun. Why are you trying to create a artificial sun? What's the? I don't get the point.
Make it make sense.
I don't get the point. You trying to make a sun? So because they said they got. We just read an article. They made something that could get hotter than the sun. What I could get was hotter than the sun only for 101 seconds. So what's the point of them trying to build something that's hotter than the sun if they could get unlimited power from? I don't know. Unless they know they can't get unlimited power, or they can't tame none of that power from the sun. I don't know. I don't get why they're doing that. Now, the Triforce. There's this game that just came out, Starfield, right?
I saw you playing it.
Okay, so it's a story. I'm a tell a story, and it's a spoiler alert. I know you ain't gonna play it, but people just be watching. So once you get to the end of the game, right, close to the end of the game, you figure out why people, because they have people on Earth, right, but it's like a small amount of people, right? Now, if you watch if it's another show called The 100. Now, if you watch these shows, it explains why, or that the shows, the video game Starfield and the show The 100, it will explain to you why or what happened. Huh?
They're connected.
They had the same kind of story, right? So if I'll put you on a show, it's a long, very long show, like a multiple season. But when I tell you, once you watch the first season, even Twisted Metal had story like this, right? So basically, everybody nuked each other. Basically, Russia, China, United States, they nuke each other, whatever. The 100, if you look at the 100, you look at Twisted Metal, if you look at Starfield, all that started on. Well, I guess I can really say Starfield, but all that literally started on, power and greed, right? Now, Starfield, I'm gonna tell you different stuff. Starfield, they were trying to figure out, like to go onto other planets, like basically trying to explore to get off Earth, because they knew all the stuff they were doing. It was about NASA. It literally said NASA in the game, but they basically what they're doing was they're trying to find like a new power source, and while trying to find a new power source, the Earth atmosphere and the gravity is destroying Earth, it's drying Earth up. So they knew if we start trying to figure out gravity and start finding anomalies of things that we couldn't do at first, they know they're gonna destroy Earth. So they sacrifice Earth in order to find out how to do how to get that certain power. So basically Earth was like a wasteland, like just a desert. They didn't have no plants, none of that. So that's when man started getting out of Earth and starting exploring different planets, right? Now the 100, where all the countries in the world start nuking each other, right? If you look at multiple movies, all these movies literally the same thing. Like China coming against each other, Russia or whatever.
It's almost as if they're preparing everyone,
right,
mentally to get ready for this one narrative of the end of the world.
Right. So if you look at it, so there's at this time there's 3 different groups. They got one group that went to a bunker. There's another group that survived actually outside, survived with nuclear waste and stuff like that. And there's another people that went to space. These 3 different groups. This is the 100, right? So the people that went into spaceships and went into space, they just stood in space. They stood in they wasn't necessarily like they wasn't literally out to space like different planets and all of that. They was in Earth. You see Earth, they're looking at Earth, but they in space, right? So those people that was in space, space got nuclear waste or radiation, whatever. So their bodies over the years, their body got used to it, right? So they got people that was in the bunker who survived the nuclear blast, right? They survived it. They never had radiation in their body, period, because there was an underground bunker. It's a bunker that protected them from the radiation, right? And then there's people that survived on Earth in the jungles and the forest, right? Now their body immune to the radiation, but also it mutated them. So they got extra fingers, their arms is all messed up, bigger arms. Like something's always wrong with them, right? So finally, the people that's in space came down to Earth and trying to see, like, they start seeing like Earth having green on there. Like they were like, well, why Earth having forests? Like we see green and stuff. Like why Earth is not red or why Earth not looking dry? And you saw that just one part of the Earth that had green, like grass, had forest. Right now, come to find out, the forest was never destroyed. It would just that part didn't get messed up, I guess. Right. So so they landed and they thinking they're the only ones there. They come to find out it was humans that was there, but the humans that was there speak a different language because, of course, the language it's crazy. The language changed, right? Now it's kind of like hard to explain. Like the people on the spaceship, they spoke English, but the people in the bunker spoke English too. But the people that was in the land in the forest spoke a different language, and they come later on they could talk English, whatever. But this whole time, there's 3 different groups. They didn't know that. The people in space didn't know that. They thought the whole planet was getting destroyed. So basically, they came back on Earth. Now they fighting with the natives, the people that survived the nuclear blast. Then they fighting the people that's in the bunker. Now the bunker people can't come outside because it's radiation on Earth. So the 2 groups, the ones in space and the one was in the forest, are immune to radiation because over generation the body adapt, whatever, it don't affect them at all, really. So the people, they gotta stay in the bunker. If they open the doors up and the air come through, it could be a little air. They get radiation poison or whatever. But if you watch those shows, if you watch damn near every sci-fi movie, show, whatever, you watch iRobot, is always somebody creating new technology, and that new technology always destroyed us, and it becomes a wasteland. This is why they tell us, right? Now, in look in the Bible, it always say that we came from the jungle or we came from the forest. We're always gonna go back to it. This is why they say technology is bad for us, because we're gonna use AI that we created is gonna do everything for us.
Technology disconnects us from who we are,
right?
As actual sentient, natural beings. It changes us into artificial beings, which is unnatural from who we are. Yeah. And God's people don't subscribe to that.
And here's why I say this, right? If you look at the person who's buying up the most farmland in America, guess who it is? Bill Gates. Do you know more in in Louisiana, most of the farmers that sold their land, guess who bought it out? Bill Gates. Bill Gates got. If you look at America, Bill Gates got the most farmlands.
40%.
Yes, he had the most farmland out of everybody in the United States. Think about that.
It's a funny thing, right? Guess who's farming on his shit? Monsanto. Yo, it's crazy. You gotta save up, bro. Get out of that country. I'm not even playing. It sounds funny, but I'm not. This is not happening. This is not happening on accident.
And then guess what? That's what he's trying to do too. You probably know this. They're trying to make artificial food. They're talking about. They just passed a law a couple months ago in California, to saying they're going to implement clone meat. Like literally, it's literally going to say it's clone meat. They're going to have a certain. They're going to have two names for it. They'll have two names because it's saying, quote unquote, they're saying, well, we have a food shortage, quote unquote, food shortage. Now,
ain't no food shortage, man.
Here's
People want the food, you don't want to give it up. And they want to share it.
Here's my thing, right?
Yeah.
They said 2020 or 2021, right? They said they had a chicken wing shortage, but they had legs, thighs, breasts fully stocked.
So how can you have a shortage of chicken wing, but then you have the other parts of the chicken? Because I mean, the chicken ain't real.
No,
shortage in making that part of the chicken.
Well, but here's the thing. Here's the thing, right? Here's the thing. How can you have well, it says a chicken wing shortage. How can you have a chicken wing shortage, but you fully stock on everything else? What's like? I don't get it.
Real. Chicken ain't real.
I just don't get that, right? So, Triforce, this is what I learned recently, and just shout out to Priest Daniela, right? Well, my camp leader, right? So remember how is there's people that's talking about, well, how did all the animals on Earth could fit in the ark, right? Mm-hmm. So he did a PowerPoint and he was breaking it down. The Bible tell you everything you need to know, right? And I didn't know this until he broke it down. Shout out to Priest Daniela, right? So if you look at, if in Jamaica, right, what do y'all call chicken in Jamaica? What's another name they use?
Fowl.
Right. Yeah. Now he came, Priest Don on a presentation said the same thing. He said y'all call it fowl, we call it chicken, right? Now if you go back to the ark, it was like the prime of that animal. So instead of us being chickens, like the chicken we eat, like chicken you get from Popeye, chicken you get from Chicken Sanders, Sanders. It's not the same chicken. So
it's like the corn. The corn that we're eating is not the same corn. Carrots that we're eating is not the original carrots.
Right.
They were all original parts of like animals and vegetation and stuff like that. But go on, make your point.
But it was what I'm saying. I'm gonna show you right quick. The reason why, but he was breaking it down, right? So it was like the prime of that animal. So if you look at the chicken we eat, all that is it could be either, a different version. They might take a chicken from Jamaica, and they might take a chicken from Africa, and then take those two different chickens and then create another chicken. Like they mate with it up, mate or whatever, and then they create another version of a chicken. Right? In Jamaica, y'all call it fowls, and in the Bible, it call it a fowl. So that the color of y'all chicken might be different from ours. It's not saying the chicken is bad, because you got chicken that man made, as in like they took two animals and then let them mate. And there's chicken that
hybrid. They're called hybrids. They're called hybrids.
Yeah, hybrid. It's not necessarily bad. It's not necessarily bad because it's not like they going. You got lab grown.
Not genetically modified.
Yeah,
it's naturally hybrid.
Right. So it's not like we take this chicken and meat in the lab. It's more like I'll take these two different versions of this fowl from different regions of the earth, and then create another chicken. That's how they breed it, right? Yeah. But I'm trying to find out, because he was breaking this down. I was like, man, because one of the questions I had, and I had this for like years, I'm like, how did everybody how did all these animals get on this? I had the same question until he brought that PowerPoint out and explained to me that the word, like the when you look at the word fowl or you look at that certain word and it says kind, because the word kind means like
yes, kind of its kind.
Kind, right? So it could, so you could take this one. It's like a cell phone, right? You got, maybe not a cell phone. Let's say a computer, right? You got AMD, you got Intel, you got MacBook.
But they're all of the same kind of computers.
Right. It comes from the concept comes from one thing. It's just different versions. Just like Marvel and Capcom. I mean, Marvel and DC. The idea, it could be one idea, but it's two different concepts.
Yes, of that idea. Yes.
Yeah. So I'm gonna show you right quick, right? Where does it kinds? After his kind, men. You see? Look at this, right? It says kind, sometimes a species, right? Usually of animals. Groups of living organisms belong in the same created kind. If they had descended from the same ancestral gene pool. This do not include new species because this is represented in the partitioning of the original gene pool. So this whole time, this is why they tell us you got to read Hebrew. Because we understand Hebrew, the word, the definition, you get a better understanding. So people think, example, you might have, but you might, example, you can name different, give me like different cats. You might have cheetah, you got a house cat, you got a puma, you got a lion, you got a jaguar. You got all these different, they're all different species of cats.
Felines.
Right.
The feline kind,
right? So
the dogs of the canine kind,
right. So, and I when he brought this presentation out, and I'm like, man, the Bible show you is like literally in the Bible, and the reason why you kind of have a hard understanding of trying to understand that scripture about the certain kinds of animals and how can all these animals fit in this one ark. But the Bible tell you the whole time. This is why they always tell us you got to study the Hebrew too. You just can't read King James to get an understanding. Because when he brought this presentation out and he showed the presentation and the word kind, we think kind is like you could see like it's we didn't think kind is like a broad statement or a particular statement. You might think kind is like okay, all cats. All cats are all the cats are the same, or like what people say. We all humans. We all bleed the same. They say some crazy stuff like that. But in the Bible, it says groups of living organisms belong in the same created kind if it's descended from the same ancestral gene pool. That's very direct. That's saying this is the first. This is the first. He said, look, a new species could arise when a population is isolated or inbreeding occurs. By this definition, a new species is not a new kind, but a further partitioning of an existing kind. Look at that. That the Bible tells you that. Like, that's crazy. When I seen this, I lost my mind.
So now first of all, when they said Noah brought all the animals into the ark or whatever the case may be, you have to remember that the amount of animals that existed back then. So first of all, this is all
it was far less. It was far less. It was far less than it existed today.
Because it was the beginning of the world,
right? And
number two, the world had to be restarted again. So like a lot of animals went extinct, and we have new sets of animals and whatnot. Mm-hmm. I think people make a big thing out of the Noah and the Ark or the Epic of Gilgamesh, whichever. I think they're missing the point of the story. Right? Like dudes became so wicked that God was like, I'm gonna have to just get rid of y'all. What's the point of the story? What do you want to believe? He got every single animal in the world on the boat. It's like, first of all, God said collect collect 2 of every kind of animal you can find. You can find.
Look at this.
Not in the world.
Look at this, right? Look at this. We just read this earlier, right? And God said, let the earth bring forth living creatures after his kind, cattle and creeping things, and beasts of the earth after his kind. And it was so. He said, and God made the beasts of the earth after his kind, and cattle after his kind. Everything that creepeth upon the earth after his kind, and God saw that it was good. So it's crazy because I didn't know that. I knew the Bible. I knew the Bible pretty good, right? But when he broke this down, it answered a question. It answered my question that I never say, well, I'm gonna ask him, how did he get all the animals on the boat? I knew I never was gonna ask him that, but I was like, something like the presentation, like he was like, just 1 week, he was just like, we're gonna go over the Noah's Ark. And after I read that and he broke it down, I was like, what? I ain't gonna say misled. It's just like, it was details, and he went into the Hebrew. It was details that if you read it in English, you cannot get the full understanding without reading the Hebrew. This is why they tell us all the time. Hebrew, but nothing triumphs over the Hebrew Bible, but King James is a good Bible to go off of. It's probably the best Bible to go off of in modern day time because it has,
generally speaking, for the general public.
Right. But to get to true understanding, you got to go into Hebrew and the Greek to get understanding. He said this all the time. They told us like
you said Hebrew and the Greek?
Because the Old Testament the Old Testament is in Hebrew, the New Testament is in Greek. So you got to go in the Greek language to understand the New Testament.
I didn't know about that. I didn't know Greek was recommended as well. But okay.
Yeah, because the original text, the Old Testament original text is in Hebrew. It's a Hebrew language. The Septuagint and the New Testament is written in Greek and then was translated into English. So people were like, well, the Bible been played with. Yes, you could say that, but it's multiple Bibles. So there's imperfection in a lot of Bibles because it's hard to translate one word into another language. So example, I tell people,
I don't think there are any. I wouldn't go as far as say imperfections. In my opinion, regarding the Bible,
no imperfection in like transitioning one word from another language to another. I mean, from one language to another. So, example, for good example, right? If we say, a lot of people say like Bernie Mac, I'm gonna quote Bernie Mac, motherfucker. Bernie Mac be saying motherfucker a lot, right? So in Hebrew, I'll give an example. Just a motherfucker could be a person who slept with his mother. You know what I'm saying? It's not It's not. You can't use the word. Curse. Yeah, you can't use the word multiple times. You can't use the word multiple times for different meanings. It's like if I say I'm gonna kill you, I could use that multiple times. I could use that, or I'm gonna kill you as in like literally take your life, or you in trouble, like you in bad trouble. Not to kill you, but you like in trouble. Oh, I'm gonna kill you. Like you messed up and you made me mad. So you being punished. And then you could say it in a playful way. So in Hebrew, there was one word for everything. I mean, it was one word for that particular thing, not everything, but one word for that one thing. In English, you could use a word multiple different times with different meanings. It could be the same exact word, but you could use it differently. And that's the problem we have with trying to read the Bible. People will read one word and think like the word virgin. The word virgin just means a woman ready to marry. Or a young woman, a young woman
doesn't necessarily mean that she didn't have sex.
Right. Matter of fact, she could have sex and still be called a virgin because she's a young woman. It's more of an age thing than it is a sexual thing. Like today's time, right? If you look at back then, the word virgin is only given to a female. It's only given to a female. Today's time, the word virgin could be a male or female. It means a person that never had sex. But the origin of the word changed over time. They call it newspeak, which means words over time change, have got different meanings. Newspeak, as in like,
okay,
they take an old word,
yeah,
and then
I get years, like the word gay.
Right.
Gay meant happiness, but now it means homosexual.
Right. So it changes. The word changes over time. You could kind of say like slogans or slang. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah. No, definitely. Faggots meant a pack of sticks.
Yeah.
Now means homosexual.
What?
So yeah.
Like the word like faggots. It was sticks that were used to hit gay folks or gay people, right?
And a fag
and a fag was one stick.
Right. See, but this is why the English language is dangerous. This is why I tell people it's not so much like you try to go to church and stuff like that. The Christian church, it's not so much. A lot of these pastors don't know because all they be doing is getting taught from other people that have been taught the same stuff. But a lot of time, these new churches, these Christian churches, they don't go into the Hebrew or the Greek. Now, there are some people that do. There's some churches that do, but I'm talking about for the complete understanding of the Bible, you got to go to the Hebrew and the Greek. Hebrew in the Old Testament, Greek in the New Testament, to have an understanding. So when people say, well, I got knowledge that the Bible don't have, I ask them, what knowledge you have that the Bible don't have? Tell me.
You may have some. The most you can do is you may have a different interpretation, but I don't think you're gonna have anything unless God talks to you. Last time I checked, according to the Bible, God ain't talking to nobody right now.
You gotta go to Christ to get. You gotta go to Christ first to get to the Most High. But what knowledge? So if I ask a person, I ask them that this is the trick I ask. I say, okay, what knowledge did you have that the Bible don't have? What did you learn? What did you learn that the Bible don't have? And then here's the crazy part is, right? The Bible is the only book in history in the world that talks about every single thing, space. There's no time frame in the Bible because the Bible is from the beginning of the world to the end of the world. It could talk about court of laws. It could talk about food. It talks about everything.
Past, present. It talks about past, present, and future.
Right. So
it's a book that talks about the past, the present, and the future.
The only book, by the way, only book. So I asked him, like, what information that you have that the Bible don't have? Keep in mind, right? Keep in mind, you can look this up, right? If you look at the scientists, you're trying to figure out how a volcano erupt, also how the world became 75% of water. Cause remember, it was like 95% of water. I mean, they try to explain like how the continents separate. Guess what they use? Guess what we got the knowledge from of how the world's the different continents separate into their own continents. The Bible. They study the flood. When you look at the flood, that's what the scientists go. You can look this up. The scientists read the Bible and try to figure out what happened and how did the waters became waters rose up and flood the earth. They got it from the Bible. Matter of fact, a lot of discoveries that they found on Earth, guess where they got it from? The Bible. They got it from the Bible. Go ahead.
Go on. No, I wanted you to finish your thought because I wanted to say something.
So, okay, so in the Bible it tells you about truffles, like where you live at, right?
Mm-hmm.
Some places on Earth you don't have to till the ground to grow crops. Some places just have vegetables and fruits naturally, and then like in Jamaica, right? In most places on the Earth, right? If you go outside, let's say you go outside 5 o'clock in the morning, it's dark, but you can see the sun coming up, and by the time the sun coming up, you can look at the grass. The grass is wet. The morning dew. The morning dew is naturally there. Well, let's say you sit outside. I mean, you come at 5 o'clock in the morning, and you go touch the grass. The grass dry, right? By the time the sun come up, there's morning dew to moisturize the grass, so that the sun won't burn up the grass or burn up the trees. There's a morning dew that do that. They do that before the sun coming up. The earth wets itself, prepare for the sun. That's how plants grow and stuff like that. Some places on Earth, in America, most of the time you got to till the soil, which means you got to loosen the soil up and then plant seeds in there in order to grow crops. And with Jamaica, you don't need to till the soil or anything like that. Jamaica it's a natural till, like the ground is naturally tilled, which means no man don't have to do anything to get fruits and crops. It just grows from the ground. It's another thing. Jamaica has underground springs, which means is underground in the soil or underneath that area or that country, the water naturally is in the soil. Like where we from, we got where we from, we got we got to take a water hose and water our plants. Well, in Jamaica, you don't need none of that. The Bible tell you that some places a man don't have to till. Some places on earth you don't have to till. Jamaica, you don't have to dig a hole in the ground to plant seeds. The seeds already there. You ain't got to do nothing to it. Matter of fact, you ain't got to water it. It's gonna be naturally water because you got springs under the ground that naturally moisturize the soil. You could take a seed and just drop it on the ground. It go grow in Jamaica. You can't do that. You can't do that in America. Some places in America, you can't just drop a seed and expect it to grow out the ground. Jamaica, drop it anywhere and it grows. The Bible tell you that. A lot of books and a lot of different cultures don't teach you that. Like look at the Chinese, right? I'm gonna say this: the Japanese and the Chinese, they till the ground. They gotta till the ground. The place they live at, they have to till the ground to put their seeds in. In Jamaica, where you got more black people, look at the black countries. They don't have to. The predominant black countries, they don't have to sit there and till the ground. Some people do. Some countries do. Some black countries do. But a lot of time, high vegetation places, you ain't got to do that. My last thing right here. Look at Europe. Europe is the coldest place, one of the coldest places on earth. Guess what Europe, most Europeans got to do in their country? They got to import food. Yeah, they got to import vegetate because they in Europe is
they need their grain. They need their grain from Ukraine, and right now that's not happening because of the Black Sea. Blah blah blah.
Right. So in Europe, 95% of their food is imported. Canada, 95% of their food is imported from America because it's always cold. It's a land that you cannot. It's void of vegetation. If I see like people go to the UK and look, I'm gonna say the last thing. I keep saying the last thing. Look at the UK. The UK, they say their food is not good. It's because it's imported. Yeah. In Paris, right? Look at Paris and Belgium, one of them places. They eat snails. They eat all this weird, different type of seafood because that's all they could eat. They don't have all these fruits and vegetables and certain animals that vegan animals like cows and stuff like. They don't have all those animals because the animals can't live in that climate. It's always cold. It's void of vegetation. You can't live in Europe without having imported food. So. I'm just, if you look at the Bible, people you could disown the Bible all you want.
No, but the Bible is pretty accurate. It's not going to be 100% because of translations and re-authors, but for the general message remains, and no one can deny that. But what I wanted to say to you is this, because I'm actually getting tired now because I came back late. But I wanted to ask you next week. We got to get back on our grind with the ninth podcast. Great topics that we brought up. Next week, we definitely should. Next week's gonna be the 30th, right? We definitely should shoot for to play it safe. I'd say 10 o'clock. Cause see, I was planning to get back. We left here this morning at 10, and got back at 9:30. So I don't know if next week at 10 o'clock is something you could do. But if you can, what should be the next topic?
Saturday, I'm free on Saturday. I ain't gonna do nothing. You know, my Saturdays are always free. Well, now before working, but anytime Saturday be good. Next week actually gonna be the 1st.
No, the 30th.
No, the 1st.
Yeah, the 30th. 30th, bro. I'm looking at the calendar right now. September 30th. Saturday.
Oh, Saturday. I'm thinking. Wait, what today is? It's Sunday. Okay, I'm looking at I forgot it's like 12. You know how people 12 o'clock. I'm thinking it's a 23rd.
It's 24th today.
Yeah. So next week. So Sunday, which is you said at 10:30, right? So by the time we get off, we're gonna be on first. But yeah, next week is 30th. Yeah. Topics.
I would like to talk about the difference between the beginning of the end and the end, because a lot of people is like, we are in the end times, and I would argue to say no, we're at the beginning of the end times. But we're not in
Yeah.
the end times.
Oh,
Yeah.
that's Revelation. That's Revelation in Book of Isaiah all day. That's easy.
All right, we definitely should do that next week. I want to go over some stuff, let people know that if you haven't gotten the warning, it's kind of funny. God says when he comes, you won't know, but he's sure leaving a lot of hints,
Yeah.
some obvious ones, and people still not taking it, which is crazy.
Yeah, I'm just warning signs. You see, look, what they say? Oh, look in the sky for warning signs.
Yeah, so like he won't tell you when he's coming, but he didn't say he wouldn't send you any warnings. He's sending a whole lot of warnings.
We just don't
It's like
know.
people
We
don't
just don't know the day. That's it. You don't know the day.
Just don't know
Wait,
the day.
what's so crazy is not even Christ know the day. Think about that.
I wonder why he wouldn't tell his son.
I don't know. That's the.
I wonder why.
It don't say. It don't say.
All right. Well, thanks for having me on. I appreciate it. Thanks for being a brother, bro. I really appreciate it all the time you help me and whatnot. And I need to, like I said, I need to get back on my Sabbath grind with you. So I look forward to seeing you next week for sure. Today was a day. But well tired. I'm gonna earn my rest that God says to rest on his day. And I'll definitely see you next week.
Yes. I ain't eating till 7 o'clock. Think about this. I ain't eating till 7 o'clock p.m.
Ouch.
I'm good. But the thing is, it says when you fast on Day of Atonement, you fast for something. Always
Fast for something.
Fast for something.
What does that mean?
You know,
Like fast for a purpose?
Yes. You know, people like they pray. I want $1 million. I'm gonna pray to get $1 million, or they pray for something good to happen, or they pray for something they want. You fast. I'm not telling you what to fast for, because you say don't tell you what to fast for, but you fast for a purpose. Fast for a purpose. Like some people fast to lose weight. Some people fast because they want to get over something, a bad habit they got. So when you fast for something. I know what I want to fast for. I know what I'm fasting for. That's why. And then look, I'm not doing a regular fast. I'm doing a dry fast. No water or no food.
Damn.
That's what you got to do on a Day of Atonement.
I heard this guy does from January 1st to January 21st. He does a 21-day fasting. So I forgot why he does it, but yeah, he does it every year. I'm going to get to that level soon. I'll get to that level soon.
It's very easy, Triforce. Very easy.
I know. Remember, I eat 1 meal a day, so I know how easy it is.
Yeah.
And keep in mind, like 8 hours of it's not a real 24 hours, because 8 of those hours you sleeping.
Right. Yeah.
So it's really 16 hours. You just got to make it.
Yeah.
It's just 16 hours. Then you can hit the sit act. You wake up, and when you wake up, you're not necessarily hungry. So you can kind of cheat it, bro. You can put in a good 12 hours.
Sleep.
12 hours of fasting, and then 12 hours of sleeping, 12 hours of fasting, 8 hours of sleeping, 4 hours after you wake up before you hit something to eat.
Yeah.
Because I've done those before.
Yeah.
All right.
Yeah, it's been good, man. Next Saturday, what, 10 o'clock? 10:30?
10 o'clock would be best, because that guarantee I'm ready.
Yeah.
Guaranteed I'm ready.
Okay, 10 o'clock next Saturday. Y'all come out support. We back. I'm streaming through Facebook now, so I wouldn't have to post a link to everything on Facebook and then on Instagram. So everything is, I'm gonna try to stream to 2 platforms. Might be 3. I'm gonna try to figure out how to do Instagram too. But I'm trying to spread the. We could talk about the Bible. We talk about everything. We just we went to basketball and all different stuff. But sometimes we just go off the dome and then go like that. But y'all come back next week. Like, comment, subscribe. If y'all on Facebook, y'all come to my YouTube channel, subscribe. Every Saturday, I'm gonna make a playlist. Gotta fix the order of the podcast so y'all can go watch from 1 through whatever, how many ever we did. It'd be easy access. So that's what I'm gonna do from now on. So yeah, appreciate y'all being here for me. For us, not me, but it's very therapeutic for me, and I know it's good for Trial Force too. So we're gonna try to do this.
Definitely.
We're gonna try to do this every Saturday, and I'm gonna be consistent myself. I gotta be consistent myself. So